Dr. Kia Priest, shining wisdom's light, teaching soul tribe how to see through the night. Ancient scriptures and bloodlines she knows, spreading truth wherever she goes. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day. Through her channel, knowledge flows, breaking chains that hold us close, teaching paths to abundance and wealth, guiding others to free themselves. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day. From currencies to investments divine, she's helping her tribe to realign with wisdom, ancient and new, showing what we all can do. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia lights the way to a new and brighter day.
All right. Greetings, Soul Tribe. Welcome. Hello, everybody. Grand Rising, a great rising, glorious rising, rich rising. Happy Friday. Yay! Oh my God, we made it to the end of another week. We made it, family. We survived. We made it. We survived. Yes, we did. So today is Friday, or Friday, as we like to call it, February the 13th. So happy Friday the 13th, 2026. The time is 1:41 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yes, this is Friday for us, family. And the 13th, they told us to be afraid of the number 13th, and particularly if it falls on a Friday. It's an ominous time, an ominous day. But whenever the deep state, the government, the people in charge tell you that something is ominous, something you should be is a threat, or you should be afraid of it, it's actually the opposite. So I did some investigating into the number 13 some years ago when I was actually on a 14-day fast. But on the 13th day, I had a dream and a vision. I had a dream. One day, little black boys and black girls. No, I had a dream where actually an ancestor came to me and told me to investigate the number 13. So what I understood or came to understand or overstand about the number 13 is that ancient cultures actually saw this number as a high vibrational number. When you look at the number 13, you put the two little numbers, the 1 and the 3 together, it forms an 8. 8, which happens to be my life path number. So you do it like that, it looks like a B or an 8. Actually is a number, is a symbol of infinity, abundance, and prosperity. And in fact, in some ancient cultures, they would actually say, let he or she that understands the number 13 receive peace, power, and prosperity. So it's a high vibrational number that they use to manifest things, to bring in and usher in prosperity and abundance. So there's no reason for anybody to be afraid of 13, but in fact, we should embrace it because it's a number. It's a number, again, that resonates on the same frequency of prosperity. So happy Prosperity Day, happy Abundance Day, happy day full of wealth and joy. It is Friday, the 13th, 2026. So I love you all too. I love you so much, family. You all are amazing. And you are my why. You give me purpose. Honestly, you give me a reason to live. Of course, I'm here because I have family and I have children, grandchildren, all that, but you help to confirm the reason why I was brought on this planet or the reason why I decided to come. Okay, so we all agreed to come during this time because it is an amazing time to be alive, as somebody said in the chat. This is a whole new age. A whole new world. It really is a new world, a new reality. In fact, I wanted to start this podcast with something that President Trump said on his social media, on his Truth Social on the 11th, 2 days ago. He says, and now the golden age is here, President DJT. So, what do we know about the golden age or the golden era? We know that this is when gold will be used as money. We know that the golden era is about the crown chakra here being activated. We know that the ushering in of the golden era was actually Corona 2020. And this was a banking terminology and elite terminology. When they first called the sickness Corona, they were actually talking in codes to each other saying, hey, this is the golden era. It just started. So they called it Corona. Corona means crown, as in crown chakra being activated, people having an awakening. This is another reason why people were saying we're in the age of the great awakening. So Corona as in crown chakra, as in the Christos consciousness, awakening, crown as in gold, as in a golden era and a golden age, an age where people are waking up, an age where people are realizing that they have manifestation powers, an age where we'll be using gold as well as silver and some other metals as money. So President Trump said it, and I'll say it as well. Welcome to the golden age. The golden age is here. So that was actually Chief Mac trying to call me, family. If you just give me a moment, let me see what Chief Mac wants. Keep going. You guys are laughing in the chat. Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Yes. So we know, family, that this is a whole new golden era. And speaking of a golden era or a golden age, did you know that things are changing with the government? Remember that in June, around the 28th of 2024, the Supreme Court of the United States overturned the Chevron doctrine. The Chevron doctrine had given the government unlimited powers to do whatever they wanted, to create any statutes, codes, policies, whatever they wanted, right? Well, when the Supreme Court of the United States overturned that doctrine, they said that the government must be downsized because the United States government had been acting treasonously against we the people. They said not only had all 444 government agencies act treasonously, but they were unconstitutional and they had to be disbanded. The whole government had to be disbanded. Now, they didn't tell you that the federal government, United States Incorporated, which is a faithful government that incorporated itself in 1871 in the state of Delaware, actually had been bankrupted. So they were operating fraudulently, not only because they fraudulently created themselves, but they had already been bankrupted. They had already been told to cease and desist by people that have formed the republic, and by the Moors, actually, if I'm going to be explicit about it. The Moors had bankrupted the federal government and told them their time was up, as well as some other entities that have been taking the United States Incorporated to the highest courts. They have been taking them, these people, these bloodline families, to the world courts. So when the Supreme Court of the United States overturned the Chevron doctrine, they were just acting in alignment with what had already been set forth by the world court, saying you all are not legitimate. You must disband immediately, or we'll come after you. We'll create a worldwide military to take down the fake faux government, all 444 agencies. So the Supreme Court moved further than just saying that they were treasonous. They said any judge that agreed to these shenanigans that the government had been doing, forcing us to have licenses for things, forcing us to pay taxes, forcing us to abide by 444 government agencies. All these judges who participated, they also committed treason. According to the Supreme Court of the United States, any judge who knew of a judge that allowed that, they committed misprision of treason. This is the real reason why we had the first government shutdown, because after the Supreme Court overturned the Chevron doctrine in June, by around the 28th, 2024, then the Supreme Court went after the Federal Reserve central banking system and said, you're illegitimate, and therefore any state-sponsored banks that have been created or come on board, they can operate outside of the jurisdiction of the Federal Reserve central banking system. And they can even disband altogether if they were part of the Federal Reserve central banking system. The Supreme Court of the United States said they can disband from the Federal Reserve central banking system because that system is fraudulent. It's connected to the United States Incorporated, and they can have their own charter, their own constitution, and issue out their own gold-backed currencies. This is why behind the scenes, also in addition to that, right now, more than 46 states have repealed or removed the state sales taxes from the sales of precious metals because we've entered into the golden era. Thus, they have reclaimed silver and gold as money. This is also why in your state right now, if you look it up, go to your local coin dealers or do some Googling, you will find out that most states have gold backs or gold RM notes that you can use today to pay for local goods and services. What are gold RM notes? That's 24 karat gold pressed onto a note that you can literally use right now to pay for local goods and services. You can go to online precious metals dealers. You can go to your local coin company. You can go to goldback.com or goldback.org and find goldbacks right now. It doesn't matter which state. It could be a Nevada goldback. It could be a Florida goldback. It could be a New Hampshire goldback. You can use those goldbacks anywhere across any of the 50 states right now, as well as silver right now to pay local goods and services. So the Supreme Court of the United States have been very, very active once they overturned the Chevron doctrine and then and declared the government as illegal and unconstitutional and treasonous. And then they declared that state-sponsored banks can operate independently from the Federal Reserve central banking system. President Trump came back. So that was the summer of 2024. He came back in January 2025, and he hit the ground running by creating over 235 executive orders, several memorandum, and laws stating that we had to be liberated, that he was liberating we the people. Then he just continued on to do the work to take down the deep state. He went abroad and he secured and brokered trade deals with many, many countries, trillions of dollars of money at trade deals he brokered. In the Middle East alone, he brokered a huge trade deal in China, which then forced all the other countries to come on board, because now you had two of the two largest global economies, America, the United States, and China, to sit at the table and do a trade deal that forced everybody to come to the table. And President Trump has said a long time ago in his first administration he would do this. He said, as far as devaluation of currencies go, I've been concerned about that for a long time, but now I'm going to do something such as issue out tariffs and trade deals to mitigate that problem. I do have that video on my YouTube channel. So when he came back this second term, he hit the ground running. So brokering trade deals, putting taxes and tariffs on these other countries, and making a commitment to you and me that he would get rid of the IRS here in America. Then he kept working. And then in September, he called a national meeting, actually an international meeting, according to reports, with all of the military generals all over the world in September. And then he sent out National Guard. And after that happened, then he shut down the government. Why? What is the meaning of all this? He shut down the government after he released the National Guard because he knew that they would have some hiccups. He knew people would be angry. He knew that the deep state, the who they're calling the Liberal Party, the cabal, the people that were in power would form protests, no kings rallies, and that they could get violent. He knew that he was also going to continue to tighten up the border because there were a lot of traffickers and a lot of scandalous people and gang members, MS-13 gang members from all over the world that were coming into our borders. So he knew that he had to send out National Guard and ICE and different guards to go and secure the borders and protect we the American people. He knew that we were going to get some backlash and people were going to fight against ICE. And people were going to fight against him tightening up the borders. He knew they were going to call him a racist. So he sent out the National Guard after he met with military generals worldwide. That was the first shutdown. And we had thousands, hundreds of thousands of government workers then that were let go. Okay. And that leads us to where we are today. We are in the middle of a second government shutdown. This is the second part of it. They said it was going to last about 2 weeks. But what are we learning about this shutdown? People are getting stressed out. We're not talking about we the people. We're talking about people that are fighting against President Trump. So what we heard happen during this, time when people are getting upset and they're trying to fight against President Trump is that just recently, 8,000 Department of Justice attorneys suddenly walked out. Allegedly, it was about 8,000 of them. They're tired of all of these discussions of the government being downsized. They're tired of hearing that attorneys and judges are going to be arrested. They knew that President Trump knew that many of them were actually leading scandals. Now, this is not new news. It's just that when you Google it, that judges and attorneys are being arrested, all these websites start to pop up that says, oh, no, that's not true. That's a lie. Because they don't want us to know that judges have judicial immunity and they're not supposed to be arrested. They can't even be sued, okay, because they have judicial immunity. That should cause us to raise a red flag. We don't have oughts against judges and attorneys. They did the work. They passed the bar, the British Accredited Registry. They took oaths. But unbeknownst to many of them, they work for the British Crown, the British Accredited Registry. That's why you pass the bar. They have Esquire behind their name. And as such, many of them go on to work for Congress. Con men, con women to work for Congress. But according to our Constitution, you may not have a title of nobility like Esquire behind your name and create laws because you don't serve the people when you have a title of nobility like Esquire. You work for what's in the best interest of the Queen and the British Crown. So a lot of workers from the Department of Justice have walked out. They're not feeling too comfortable right now about President Trump shaking up things and saying, I know some of y'all are over scandals. Some of y'all are PDFs. Many of you that call yourselves congressmen and women are actually con men and women. You don't create laws. You create statutes, codes, and policies. But they'll make you think that these Department of Justice attorneys and judges just happen to walk out because they're upset with President Trump. But it's deeper than that. I agree with our sister here, Chastity, I love your name, who says, sound like we all need to walk out of the system just like them. I agree. What would happen if we just walked out? What would happen if we just disengage? They wouldn't have any power over us. They wouldn't be able to do all the things they do to enslave humanity. So while some podcasters and some publications say there were 8,000 Department of Justice workers that walked out, if you Google it, they'll say, oh, well, it's not quite so that it's 8,000. It's actually about 5,500. So here you see the MSN reported a mass revolt is brewing inside the Department of Justice, where nearly 5,500 employees have walked out since President Donald Trump took office, leaving behind a trail of blistering farewell notes saying, I'm out of here, I'm done, accusing the White House and Attorney General Pam Bondi of inflicting irreversible damage on one of the country's most vital institutions. Is the Department of Justice really needed? How vital is it? Because what do they call it? They call it criminal law. How can you have criminal law? That's a oxymoron. You say you support the law and uphold the law, but you call yourself criminal lawyers. So they are accusing the Attorney General Pam Bondi and President Donald Trump of inflicting irreversible damage. The Justice Connection, a network of FBI and DOJ alumni, have compiled hundreds of these messages, offering an unfiltered look at an agency many insiders now describe as unrecognizable. Oh my gosh, now that so many people have left the Department of Justice, we can't recognize this department. What are you doing, Donald Trump? You're causing an upheaval. The letters, first seen by Axios, paint a picture of an environment warped by political pressure, fear, and retaliation. Several departing staff members describe a toxic work environment, blaming Attorney General Pam Bondi and President Trump for dismantling norms. Absolutely, they're dismantling norms because the norm is actually to lock up people in order to gain access to their trust. And in your courtrooms, perform a funeral and a seance, and which is why they wore black robes, and to treat us like minors, like we can't speak for ourselves, which is why you have attorneys to speak or attorney for you, and you don't really have lawyers, you have attorneys. And this is why you have to whisper in court, because according to their normal system, we're considered dead and lost at sea. We have no rights, right? And if we break any of their statutes, codes, policies, and legalities, then they can haul us into court, gain access to our trust, fine us, and then pay themselves out of our trust. Very interesting that they're upset that President Trump is shaking up their norms. So he's dismantling norms, sidelining expertise, and demanding loyalty over law, according to the attorneys. 3 assistant U.S. attorneys who resisted pressure to drop corruption charges against New York Mayor Eric Adams, issued a rare joint statement warning that the Department of Justice had decided that obedience supersedes all else. They said they refused to abandon their principles to keep our jobs. Well, just go ahead and keep your job then, if you think you can, because things are being shaken up. Kingsley says President Trump is the real king, which is why these people are organizing themselves and taking to the streets as protesters saying, no kings, we don't want any kings. Very interesting. And as Sister Belinda says, you can't have a new financial system with the old things in place and the old ways of behaving. So if they want to walk out, let them walk out. Good riddance. So I agree, A.E. Williams, there will be a full government shutdown. They're saying that we only had a partial government shutdown when we shut down first on September 30th, leading into October 1st. which was actually the beginning of the new fiscal year. And they let go of many workers. I'll see if I can. They let go more than 300. I think it was 317,000 government workers so far. So when they had that first government shutdown, I'll let you see this under the Trump administration, we've already let go almost 500,000 government workers. And while on the, in the short term, I know it's going to be a problem. A lot of people are going to be concerned. What am I going to do now that I lost my job? The good news is that many of them were encouraged to take an early buyout. So they were able to retire early and get their money, some of their money or most of their money, early retirement. And then others were just given a pink slip. So they lost their jobs, but then we reopened shortly. And we knew that they would reopen during Thanksgiving and Christmas so that they can stimulate the economy through spending. But they didn't make enough money when they reopened the government. So now what we see is another partial government shutdown. It was only supposed to last 2 weeks, but now they're talking about shutting it down again. Under the Trump administration, about 317,000 workers are now out of the government. While that has caused many people to be alarmed, we know that the government has to shut down. It's not our government. It's not our lawful government. We have the republic. The republic. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God. That is our lawful government. And we have a constitution for our republic. But when these, what I call them bloodline families, humans and non-humans and human hybrids mixed between themselves, when they created themselves as a government and therefore filed themselves as a nonprofit religious organization in 1871, they put the Pope in as their leader. That's why it's a nonprofit religious organization. And they have their own constitution called the Constitution of the United States Incorporated. We have a constitution for our republic. That's lawful. We have laws. They have legalities, statutes, codes, and policy enforcers or police officers to enforce their policies. This is what the Supreme Court of the United States overturned when they overturned the Chevron Doctrine. The Chevron Doctrine gave them unlimited powers and said they were the experts. Don't question them. If they say you have to pay a fine, you have to pay it. They put you in jail, you have to do it. And the attorneys and judges went along with it. It doesn't matter if you got hired an attorney to speak on your behalf. They're all part of a brotherhood. They're friends, these attorneys and judges, which they're not really judges, they're administrators. Okay. They all work for the British Crown. Excuse me. They may not even know this, but at some level, many of them do know this. Okay. Many of them do. That's how they go back into working in law as congressmen and women, and they move on up to become presidents and vice presidents of the United States. It's all one corporation, all tied in together. They have to be dismantled. So it depends upon which documents you read. They'll say 8,000 attorneys just walked out, and then some will say about 5,500 walked out. And the reason why they're doing this again is because President Trump is reshaping the department. Let me show you here what you can look this up, and it'll show you that there are certain publications as you investigate this that says they have replacement struggles. The department has struggled to fill these vacancies due to a lack of qualified candidates, hiring freezes, and bureaucracy. Because it doesn't matter if you want to hire somebody when the government is shut down, you're going to have hiring freezes. And they don't really want to fill these vacancies, okay? According to this particular publication, allegations of political purges are taking place. Former staffers are warning that the departures constitute a destruction of the department's traditional nonpartisan work. So what they're doing is restructuring the Department of Justice. In fact, they're eliminating the Department of Justice. Any duties that the Department of Justice that they can hold on to that will serve we the people will just actually start to work for our Constitution. And that's why, according to Nassara law, the National Economic Security and Reformation Act, all attorneys and judges will have to stand down. I apologize, if you were doing benevolent work or you thought you were, and now you're hearing this news, but it's true. They will have to stand down. But if they decide they still want to not practice law, but uphold the law, then they will be retrained in constitutional law. That's the good news. You can be trained in law, real law, according to our Constitution for our republic. I think that's wonderful. But this is part of the government downsizing or shutdown family that is occurring. And it's also in alignment with motu proprio. If you remember, I reported on this years ago. I've been reporting on this through the years, and I reported again in 2025 that at the time, Pope Francis, had written a letter to President Obama in 2014. And he said, all presidents serve as the president of the corporation called the United States. He said, we have not been presidents of the republic or of a country of America. He said, even President Obama, this is what Pope Francis said, is the president of the United States Incorporated. He said, as such, the corporation will be dismantled. This was in 2014, the letter motu proprio. I've shown that to you all, and I reported on it. He said, attorneys, judges must cease and desist. All policy enforcers, he said, because the police do not uphold the law, which we already knew, they must cease and desist. He said, all court workers must cease and desist. And he said, the FBI, the CIA, the IRS, and all government agencies must cease and desist. And if we don't, he said this in 2014, then an army, a grand army called the Grand Army of the Republic would be formed. Y'all remember that I read that letter? And they would take us down with General Pam as the leader of the Grand Army of the Republic. Now, many of us have come to call the Grand Army of the Republic the white hats of the military, or the white hats. I'll show you. I'm going to link to you that video right here in case you have time to hear it. Pope Francis, the United States is collapsing. Dr. Kia Pruitt reads motu proprio. And it's 25 minutes. I don't want to bore your patience by letting you hear it. But what I'll do for you is I'll put it in the chat. And if you ever want to hear it, you hear me do that video over, I will do it for you. If you just want to listen to that while you're on, I will do it. Yeah. Who did they put in jail for 3 days, never telling anybody? Wow. Kingsley said Trump walked in front of the Queen of England and Charles to let us all know they're no longer in power. That's right. That was a very big power move that he made under his first administration. Judy Bassett says lawyers work in law offices, attorneys pass the British Accredited Registry or the bar exam under British rule. Absolutely. Ome Bay says they don't have delegation of authority under Article 9 of the Constitution. And this is why people lose their houses, Christina says. Thank you, Tommy. Jackson Jr. said Dr. Mama Kia is snatching down the veil. We aren't peeking over there. Thank you. You are more and more than welcome. Who is this that's speaking now? Grady Matthews says Trump is the liquidator of the corporation government systems. His job is to liquidate their assets. And isn't that why he created Executive Order 13813? Is it 13813 or 13818 that says he will freeze the assets of all people that are involved in crimes against humanity. His job is to liquidate the assets of the corporation. Then the matriarch will take over the government. Thank you, Brother Grady. Kingsley said, I was in the British Army. And moving forward, FRB Supreme Magnetar says the Department of Justice will be my yacht. So we need these people to go. We need them. What are you saying about 20,000? Yes, they're saying that behind the scenes, 28,000 judges have been arrested. We avoid all policy enforcers or police and courts no matter what. It's a lose-lose situation. It really is. They don't have your best interest at heart. Hi, Sister Janine says, hey, Doc, the arrests are being made. Oh, my God, like right now. They're arresting and people are walking out, standing down. It looks like they're taking a stance against Bondi, taking a stance, the Attorney General taking a stance against Trump. They're mad. They don't like the way President Trump is doing business, so they're walking out, but really they're being cleaned out. Maricopa, Arizona is being raided. Sister Crystal Gold said, wow. Wow. Somebody arrested you, Kingsley? No. Oh, she took 3 years of your life. Who was that? The queen? So a lot is going to happen this year as they're purging out the court system. You're going to see disclosures. Eric says major medical cures are going to come out this year, cures that we had never seen before. Also, we know the med beds are already here in Florida. I know somebody who owns a med bed. He's going to open up a med bed center. It's the gentleman from whom I get my raw honey and my oregano and black seed oil. He has a company called Holistic. So if you're interested in getting black seed oil, wild oregano, in order to get rid of these parasites a lot of us have in our bodies. They call them the virus. They also call it cancer and other illnesses. But what we're coming to understand is a lot of these illnesses are actually parasites living in our body from the foods we're eating, from the sprays that have been allowed to happen in our atmosphere, from the water that has been filthy through these parasitic beings that run everything. So in order to cleanse your body from these parasites and destroy their eggs, you want to get certain things. You can research this. Black seed oil, wild oregano, and black seed oil. Some people mix them together, or you can buy it already mixed. You can also take certain, Manuska raw honey. But what I just recently learned is while I was taking the wild oregano and black seed oil, that was killing killing the parasites, but you didn't have to kill the eggs. I'm like, why am I getting sick? I've been taking this religiously, and you all were telling me it looks like you have a virus, but your body isn't sick. It's you purging yourself from the parasites. So what I learned from the gentleman who owns this company, Holistic, is you kill the parasites, but then you got to get the eggs too. So you want to take this, and then you want to bond. He said, make sure you bond things by taking, I haven't gotten mine yet, activated charcoal. So if you're interested in these wellness essentials, then please contact Holistic, Simply Holistic. You can go to simplyholistic.shop. And on that website, it should have a phone number that you can call. But you want to click on these and go ahead. Oh, what? They're out of the shillage yet. I'll have to tell them if you guys need some, that they're out of certain things, or remind them. I'm sure he already knows. But you can email them at simplyholistic@gmail.com, or you can call this local number. This is where I am in Jacksonville at 904-800-9028. That's 904-800-9028. And the shop is called simplyholistic.shop. I'll put it in the chat for you. We want to get rid of these parasites from our body, get rid of their eggs as well, and live a healthy life. And then we're going to get into med beds, as our brothers and sisters are saying in the chat, and live to be 40 years younger. We're going to reverse our age, and sometimes we're going to expand our age to be in the hundreds. So I'm excited about that. Here is the link to that, holistic.shop. Make sure you get your products and leave a review. Let us know how you feel about it. I talked to somebody who brought down his blood pressure. He said he suffered from sugar diabetes, and by taking these supplements, he said that he actually lowered his numbers, and he's thriving and doing better now, able to go back to work. So that's simply holistic.shop. I put it on the screen for you, and I dropped the link in the chat. So this show is partially funded by Simply Holistic.shop, and it's also funded by Precious Metals Company, Miles Franklin Precious Metals. That's important. We've entered the golden era. We've entered the golden age where silver and gold will be used as money. So while we see the government shutting down and we see the departments downsizing, we know this is an order by the Supreme Court of the United States and by Pope Francis, motu proprio in his letter, letting us know their time was up. Now, as somebody said in the chat, we're moving to a whole new system, a golden era. We started the program off saying that President Trump said that we've entered into the golden era. As such, we're going to be using silver and gold as money. You see this? Remember? Trump says, and now the golden age is here. President DJT. So if you want to get ahead of everything and buy silver and gold, contact my affiliate, Miles Franklin Precious Metals Company. The owner of that is Andy Sheckman. He's so busy now. I mean, like he has his own podcast now. He's all over the internet talking about the importance of gold and silver. But you can contact them at 952-929-7006 or send an email to info@milesfranklin.com and let them know that Dr. Kia Pruitt referred you so you can get the best prices in the industry. They sold well over 9 billion, about 10 billion or more in sales, and been in business for nearly 4 decades with no bad ratings. They have an excellent customer service rating, excellent ratings with the Better Business Bureau, A+ rating. So this is why I stand by them, and this is why I am an affiliate with Miles Franklin Precious Metals Company. So please, if you don't know where to go, contact Miles Franklin at 952-929-7006 or send an email to info@milesfranklin.com. If you don't know what to get, you can say, this is the amount that I want to spend in silver or gold. What do you suggest I get? Because they're all very, very credentialed. They are financial brokers. They pass exams and they have licenses in financial wealth management, financial management, all this. And they are abreast of all the geopolitical news and happenings. The reason why you have to know what's going on geopolitically if you are in this industry, the precious metals industry, is because the prices of silver and gold are heavily influenced by what happens geopolitically. So right now we see the silver and gold prices, fluctuating. We actually saw them decrease because gold was well over 5,600 an ounce. Silver had breached $120 an ounce. But now we see a fluctuation as people sell off their precious metals, right? They make a good return on their investment, they sell them off. Or you just see people suppressing the prices on silver and gold. But they had decreased and now they're going back up. They're increasing. One of the things that's going to lead to them going back up is the fact that Israel just recently joined Trump's Board of Peace. If you don't know what Trump's Board of Peace is, go back and look at my videos. Basically, President Trump created a board, an international board of peace, where all of the world leaders have to agree to have no war, to trade together, have complete global peace, and work together as one global family, which we call the Soul Tribe. So President Trump created that Board of Peace. he says to rival or replace the United Nations, because the United Nations was not working in our best interest. Not only did he create a board of peace, but he removed us from 66 international organizations before he created the board of peace. He said, because America is not going to be controlled by the deep state, the cabal, these people in power that were over PDF rings, that were doing nefarious things, treating the people all across the globe like we were slaves. So he now has about 28 countries that have joined the board of peace, and the last one to join was Israel. That is what's going to influence the prices of gold and silver to go up. So now gold is at $5,042 per ounce, and silver is at $78 per ounce. It's still pretty low compared to where it was just last month. So if people want to know, what do I do when silver and gold goes down? You buy the dip. You go to your local coin dealer, or you go to an online coin dealer. There are many different online coin dealers. I'm an affiliate with Miles Franklin. You call them at 952-929-7006. Or if you don't feel like talking to anybody, you can send an email at info@milesfranklin.com and ask them, what do you have in inventory? Show me your inventory. What do you have? Or you can email them and say, this is how much I want to spend. What should I do? Or you can just email them and say, hey, I need somebody to call me, and leave your number, and they'll give you a call back. Thank you. Sunshine Gold says, as it relates to the products at Simply Holistic that I told you about, she says they are simply amazing. You see, here's some honey that's a black seed oil plus raw honey. Black seed oil plus raw manuka honey is another product. I had black seed oil with raw manuka honey and cacao, that 100% real chocolate, because my grandson loves chocolate, but I don't give him any processed chocolate. So we also have black seed oil. This is the wild oregano oil. Organic strawberry. Sea moss. Oh, that's delicious. I did have the strawberry sea moss, but the blueberry sea moss is, my God, it's delicious. Now they're working on sending this, because we didn't send this far. It was mostly local, because sea moss, you got to be careful how you send stuff like sea moss, but you can call them and ask them about it. The blueberry is good, but my favorite is the mango. Some of you in the comment section have told me that sea moss is nasty, but when you take it flavored, like with 100% organic strawberries or blueberries or mango, it tastes like you're eating raw fruit. I don't know if you ever tasted your baby food, if you had a baby, but I used to eat my baby food's pear sometime, and the fruit that came in a jar. Oh my God, it's that times 100. It is delicious, family. It is delicious. So if you desire to get any of these products, let me tell you, it helps fight against colds. It helps fight against virus, which I thought was like something like a cold. But you guys taught me, and we learned during COVID, that a lot of these viruses are parasites in your body. Now, many medical professionals didn't know to tell you that, but some of them are in the know now, and they will tell you, you are fighting against parasites. Sunshine Gold says, these products are amazing. Thank you, Dr. Kia, for sharing. You're welcome. Yeah, and some of the meat that we're eating is not animal, not cattle like we think. Some of it, allegedly, this is what Medicine Bag Lady says, is HUMAN. And if you don't know, Sunshine Gold is on third day of her regimen taking the products. That's awesome. If you don't know, if it's a fact that we most likely are eating, if you eat meat, some meat, flesh, that they got us participating in being, what's the word when you eat human flesh? I can't think of the word they call it. It's not a carnivore, but it's where you just eat human. If you're not sure, ask yourself, why aren't they building this? This thought came to me. I was just asking myself, like, what is some of this fake meat that I've been eating? because it they say it's soybean, but it tastes really fleshy. And I prayed, I prayed about it. I was asking the ancestors, what am I eating? And the first thought came to my mind is, why don't you see any new cemeteries being built? I thought about it. I was like, now I know about some of the old cemeteries, but I don't see any new cemeteries. People transition every day. Where are those bodies going? I know that they, should have run out of space in the cemetery. Why don't they? You should see them building like a whole lot, right? We have what they say 9 billion people on the planet. Some of them are NPCs, non-player characters. Some of them aren't real. Some of them are clones. But we have lots of people on the planet, and some people are passing away. What are they doing with these bodies? We've heard about fast food restaurants, but we also know that Bill Gates owned that fake meat company, and that makes me nervous because he was over the depopulation agenda. That fake meat, that Beyond Meat, and he owned a couple of them. So we got to be careful what we eat now, and we got to start purging our bodies. Oh, Kingsley said the Queen took 3 years of his life, excuse me. Manuka honey. Oh, you use foot detox pads. I just ordered 100 of them. I use them too. And I attribute my expediting of my healing to taking the products and putting those foot pads on. Mad honey, it gets you high. True, we must flush the mucus plug, Ome Bay says. Wow. So when my guy, when he gets his med bed up and running, then he's going to come to the Soul Tribe and he's going to do a live with me. But not until then does he want to give out that information. Okay. Cloves would kill the eggs, parasite eggs too. Thank you so much for that information. I don't know much about the active foreclosures that are happening right now. I apologize. I just know that when people that have been told that if they lose their houses, they're going to get them back and they're going to be compensated. We're waiting to hear more about the compensation. You can read or listen to my videos in the Sarah Jasara. I do talk about a little bit there. I'll come back and do another live showing where to get the activated charcoal. Because let me see. Hold on. Somebody asked about the activated charcoal. My guy who sells the Simply Holistic told me where to get that one. Hold on. I'll put it in the chat for you. So you're supposed to take it 2 hours after you take your black seed oil and oregano. Ooh, I don't know how to pronounce that name. I'm going to send it to you guys. This is what it looked like. This is the, the product. Activated charcoal comes in something that looks like that. I'll send it. I'm going to send it to my email and then I'm going to show it to you all. I'm waiting for it to get to my email. So back to why these, I'm waiting for it to go to my email. These attorneys are walking out. There's one publication that reports that 70% of the Department of Justice's Civil Rights Division lawyers or attorneys are leaving because of Trump's reshaping, that he's reshaping the Justice Department. The Justice Department's Civil Rights Division is in an upheaval, according to this publication, amid a mass exodus of attorneys as the Trump administration moves to radically reshape this division, shelving its traditional mission and replacing it with one focused on enforcing the president's executive orders. Some 250 attorneys, or around 70% of the Civil Rights Division, have all left, or they will have left the department in the time between President Trump's inauguration that just occurred last year and the end of May, according to current and former officials. They said all the firings that are occurring, not only in the Department of Justice, but in the whole government. All of these firings, and they call them firings. They didn't say walkouts. They must align with Trump's agenda. Oh my goodness. So let me see if this is here yet. It didn't come. Did it come yet? Yeah, okay. All right. For those of you who asked about the activated charcoal that you take after you take your oregano, here it is. You can join their community too. It's called shishandu.com. I'll put it in the chat for you. Right there. Can you see that? So you take this, how many hours did I say? 2 hours? Take it 2 hours after you take your parasite cleanse. And let me show you where you get the parasite cleanse, being the wild oregano and black seed oil. You get that from Simply Holistic .shop. We've had amazing testimonies about how they give people more energy. One person I showed you all underneath one of my chats about this product said she saw worms in her stool in the toilet after she took the product. Yeah, real worms. Kingsley said Chief Mac had them laughing and in stitches yesterday. He said, get your peanut butter behinds up and buy some foreign currencies. That's hilarious. Yeah, so I agree that a lot of these attorneys that are walking out and government officials, they're scared. They know what's coming down the pipeline. They know their time is up. Yeah, they know their time is up. Thank you, Sister Janine says, if you want a trust where you could put your assets in the trust and have a foreign EIN so you can operate outside the jurisdiction of the government, contact Chief Mac at unityinmotion45@yahoo.com. Thank you. Thank you, Sister Janine. She is our chat moderator. What are the signs of parasites? Headaches, vomiting, cold chills, diarrhea. So a lot of the virus feelings that you have, people say those are the side effects of parasites. But I'll see if I can look it up. Any more family that you can think of, side effects of parasites? Well, how do you know if you have parasites? I'm gonna look it up and see if I can find it. Check your symptoms. You know what? Some of you all told me also buy some ivermectin, and when I got it, I saw that it came out of Wuhan, China. I was a little nervous. I was like, do I take it? I didn't take it because I'm like, I need to research this. But everything just about that we get came from China. I was like, maybe I'm gonna see if I can find one that came from America. That just makes me feel a little more comfortable. Oh, bloating too. A lot of times people would try to work hard to get rid of the bloating and the pooch that they have, the stomach that they have. No matter how many sit-ups you do, no matter how many exercises you do, or how much running you do, a lot of times you can't get rid of it because those are parasites in your intestines. Trying to see if I could see the signs. You can make ivermectin from wormwood plant. Oh, thank you. Grinding of the teeth, somebody said. Wow. Major bloating. Having colds and fevers and not sleeping well. Thank you, Sister Denise says. An itchy rectum. That's right. Thank you so much, Sister Sabrina. Oh, if you want sugars, yes. If you have wanting, you have a desire for sugary foods and sweets, you may have parasites. Sister Janine says, always research before you buy. You're right. I should have done that. I should have done that. Grinding your teeth. So a lot of people grinding their teeth thinking that they have other problems could just have these worms or parasites. Watch out for the Chinese restaurants. They are Chinese spies, Brother Eric says. You know what? Uh, former Secretary of State, I just had his name. He was a former FBI director. Mike Pompeo said the same thing, that a lot of Chinese are Chinese spies. They're infiltrating the restaurant industry, the government, the banking system, the school system, the research institution. So we got to be careful. Chief Max in the house, he said, do not listen to the media or chat GPT about healing yourself. They'll have you looking at yourself, looking at your something for healing. I think he's saying your bottom. Okay, Kingsley said you should get your ivermectin from India. Thank you. I believe that too. I know this to be true. Empress Love says, I'm not religious, but I do believe and I do know that I do know that the scripture Psalms 86:2 is true. It says, I've said ye are gods, and all of you are the children of I am that I am. So Empress is saying, know thyself. They say, you wild, Chief Mac. Being overly sexual is a parasitic behavior, Sister Vanessa said. Thank you. Don't eat a lot of foreign foods. Okay, so you all asked me what are the side effects or symptoms or signs that you have a parasite. Digestive problems like constipation, diarrhea, heartburn, IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. Those all fall under digestive problems. Number 2, chronic fatigue or exhaustion. 3, skin diseases and issues. 4, muscular pain and joint pain. 5, anemia. I need to tell somebody I know that. 6, a lack of satisfaction after meals means that your parasites in your body are hungry, and they oftentimes going to go to starches and sugary foods. Number 7, itchiness. That's why some people have very itchy rectum. That's how some people have eczema. They're scratching a lot. They're itching because the parasites are acting up. Bruxium, grinding your teeth is what's bruxium. It's an indication that you have an existence of parasites in the body. The toxins released by these intestinal parasites can lead to anxiety. These toxins interact with your neurotransmitters, leading to mood swings, nervousness, and grinding of teeth at night. If you grind your teeth while you sleep or wake up with clenched teeth in the middle of the night, you may be suffering from bruxism. Number 9, insomnia. You have trouble falling asleep, or you wake up several times during the night because the parasites are causing physical discomfort in your body. It's a nocturnal beast that is active during the night, keeping you awake. You'll find a disturbance in your sleep pattern without noticing anything different in your regular habits. And number 10, bloating. An intestinal parasite can lead to buildup of extra gas in your gastrointestinal tract, which may result in bloating. The parasite Giardia can cause bloating with a distended stomach, which becomes a nuisance if you don't get it treated. So that's it. Kingsley says, Chief, I'm eating peanut butter while sitting on my behind right now. You told everybody get off their peanut butter eating behinds and go buy some currency. Chief Max says, parasites hate bitter tasting foods and drinks. Thank you, Chief. Some souls contract are here and experience sex to heal. Yes, but if you are overly sexualizing and you have an appetite that is more than normal, then they're saying that could be because you have parasites. Hi, Jerry, listening from Dutchess County, upstate New York. So that's it, family. If you wake up with lockjaw, you may, oh, somebody said you may be a redneck. What the heck? I thought you were going to say you might have parasites. We're glad you're here, Brother Jerry. So, yeah, we're rising. Very important info you're sharing, Kia. Thank you, Chief Mac. Mood swings, sugar cravings, cloudy thoughts and judgment, confusion. That leads to, a lot. That can lead to anxiety. That could mean you have parasites. And so finally, I am says, I feel stressed and overwhelmed. This that Jubilee in front of my face while I'm in active foreclosure sucks. When is this movie going to finally be over? I agree. I agree. We're ready for it to be over. We're tired. We can't take it anymore. Like not like I mean, I guess they're trying to push us to our limits to see just how much we can take. But in the meantime, we do see some movement. We see attorneys walking out, judges walking out. We hear rumors of many arrests. Um, I know a lot of you are like, we want to see public arrest. We want to see firing squads. And I agree. To know by seeing with our eyes that this is actually happening because the files, the Epstein files were released. So what's going to happen? Now, we've heard that behind the scenes there arrests have been happening. We've read resignation.info and seen all the forced resignation and firings, but we want to see swift and harsh consequences of these beings messing with our children. We want to see swift, harsh consequences of these people forcing us into foreclosure. We want to see swift and harsh consequences of people stealing our wealth. It is happening. We know it's happening. We had somebody report yesterday that their student loans were just written off. We had people reporting on the channel that their mortgages were paid with no explanation. So I believe that's all, family. Oh, we are headed towards another shutdown. I'll say that, Chief Mac. I sent you a link in case in the event you wanted to say something. Get my family coming in. Here it is, partial government shutdown. Hey, son. Large swaths of the Department of Homeland Security are set to shut down Saturday. That's tomorrow, February 14th, Valentine's Day, after Senate Democrats on Thursdays blocked two funding bills because the legislation did not include new restrictions on federal immigration agents. Democrats demanded a long list of changes to the Department of Homeland Security after federal immigration agents unalived Alex Pretty last month in Minneapolis, including they want to see tighter rules on warrants and a ban on agents wearing a face mask. President Donald Trump appeared open to some of them, but Democrats rejected a proposal the White House made Wednesday night, all but ensuring a partial government shutdown. So on tomorrow, you will be in the middle of another government shutdown that they're calling a partial government shutdown. But the main reason for that is because, yes, and a congressional shutdown. Thank you. And Congress already walked out, by the way. They're already on some type of what do you call it, vacation or something. But we all know that when the Supreme Court of the United States overturned the Chevron doctrine in the summer of 2024, the government would be shut down. We knew that would happen. Yes, over here we admire Chief Rod Hayes. Yes, we do. And we admire Chief Mac as well. Yes, we admire Asir, the Duke of Tears. We admire Sheikh Bey, Sheikh Moadib as well. But as it relates to their government, we're talking about our tribal leaders. We respect them. But their government is unalived as DEAD. That's why it's not coming back. No matter what they say, it's over for them. It's done. It's kaput. Now I'm going to see if I can find my letter motu proprio that I read. Actually, it's the letter from the Pope. Let's see, letter regarding motu proprio. I had to actually copy and paste it because some of the places that where they had it actually posted that those websites were taken down. So here it is, motu proprio by Pope Francis. I'm coming, son. I put it in the chat. So family, I've really thoroughly enjoyed you all being here. Thank you for listening to me. As I said, many judges and attorneys have walked out of the Department of Justice. Some say as many as 8,000, but we also know that President Trump is actually reshaping the Department of Justice. We've lost over 317,000 government workers from the federal government, from the government, because they're not a real government. It's not a republic. It has to be replaced. So all these things are happening behind the scenes. We know we also have a new financial system coming on board. This is why President Trump said the golden age is upon us. The golden age is here. Chief Max says most of the original government are gone. A bunch of masked up characters are now who we are seeing. That's right. So speaking of Chief Mac, if you're interested in getting a trust from him or you want a consultation, contact him at unityinmotion45@yahoo.com. In case you wanted to give some final words, Chief, I did send you a link. If not, we're going to get out of here because we know this is the end. We know we're ready for an emergency broadcast system announcement. That's right. It's imminent. Sister Crystal says they've already been handled. They've already been arrested. I do remember watching military tribunals in 2018 through C-Vine. It was c-vine.net. I don't know if you all remember that. Miami Marvin says, I feel most of all of them will be unalive by the time any reparations happen. All this talk about Nassar Jassar is a classic move, archonic move. Give me my money, forget principles. Well, I don't know. You say it's archonic, but you know the tenets of Nassar, I've gone over this many times. They've already happened. We already see the downsizing of a government. That's part of Nassara. Getting rid of the IRS and creating the ERS. That's part of Nassara. The golden era, using gold as money. I've been reporting on that since 2017. Now you have major podcasters and different commercials talking about gold and silver. I was talking about Nassara in 2017. That is Nassara. It's not just talk. It's not just rhetoric. It is the truth. It's what's happening. Now, we haven't seen like all the trillions of dollars in our bank account yet. I agree. And the Pope, he's unalive. He's gone. All right, Chief, I already sent you the link. And he said he'll come on real quick. Before he does come on, I want to tell you all I appreciate you. And I thank you because Chief Max in the house. Welcome, Chief. I'm thanking the people who sent a cash. Greetings. 1 minute, Chief. Thank you. Terrence Floyd, thank you for sending me a gift of $50. I appreciate you, Chief Mac. Always send me hundreds. Thank you, Chief. I love you. Jermaine, love you too. Jermaine said, I'm grateful he sent me money, a cash app blessing. Sister Kimberly says, thank you, Queen. Sister Sheila says, many thanks. Truck for a second. I got to get something out. Okay. So Helen says, this is donation for your ministry. Thank you, Sister Helen. Kay Katrina says, gratitude. Sister Vanessa says, that she's sending a gift as well. All right, Chief. I just want to thank you all for sending me a Cash App gift, $2 Mama Kia 13, and those of you that sent me a gift through PayPal. I appreciate you. God bless you. Creator smile upon you. May you have peace, prosperity, and long life. And now you're in the hands of Chief Mac. Speak, Chief.
Greetings. How you guys doing? It's a beautiful day here in the ATL. Look at the clear blue skies. Times are changing. No chemtrails. See how beautiful that is?
That is beautiful. Yes.
Many of you know why the sky is blue, right? Because it's water on the other side.
Come on, Chief.
It's water on the other side. We're in the Super Bowl. That's why they call it the last game of the year, the Super Bowl, because these entities know where we are. So we're submerged in waters. So when the earth flooded, it flooded from the top, and the water drained from the bottom. So we're figuring this stuff out, guys. It is a beautiful time to be alive.
So you're right across the street, sir, in that.
Yeah, we're figuring it out now. I'm going to do a part 2 of the video I did last night. I'm going to do a part 2 because I'm not done with it yet. But this is a very imperative, important topic that Dr. Kidd, you talked about parasites, guys. Parasites were created by these, and this is for entertainment purposes, and educational purposes only. Parasites were created by these reptilian entities. They turned our world into their heaven. And when they made our world their heaven, hell was created. There's no such thing as a hell you're going to, guys, because we're in it already. We're in it already. And you're gonna find out soon that a lot of stuff that I've been saying, because you can't go to hell because the body stays here on earth. When you transition, guys, your body is still here, right? The body is left behind, correct?
Yes, sir.
So what body is going to burn up in a lake of fire? Ask that question for me. When you lose this right here, this body goes through, it goes back to the dust, it goes back to the earth. So your body is left here. And you gain that spiritual, supernatural body, which is not a flesh. So that body is greater than any earthly matter. Fire, water, it don't need no food, no air, or no water. So we're bounded down here through this body. It's a learning lesson for us. We have to learn and not be incarnated back into this body, because there are many incarnations. We have been here before. Many of us have been people like us who are putting the work in, like what you're doing, putting the work in. Rod Hayes, Sheik, all the Sheiks, all these. We have been through a lot of things, and we were supposed to go through that because it was supposed to create us and make us who we are. We were supposed to have hardship and have gone through things and been ostracized, talked about, ridiculed, betrayed. That was supposed to happen, because if it didn't, we wouldn't be who we are and what we are right now. We wouldn't. Because everything, if things have been going so good in your life in 3D, when 5D presented itself, you were going to miss it. And this is why so many people can't catch on to this wealth transfer that's getting ready to happen. So many people. You ask yourself, why is it just me? And listen, even if you don't have any foreign currency, trust me, if you're a 5D, then somebody that's over in 5D are going to make sure that you're in overflow. Because I'm that person that if any of my brothers and sisters don't have any foreign currency or having a tough time, as long as I know you, excuse me, guys, as long as I know you wouldn't be having that hard time, I'm going to make sure that you step over the overflow. And I'm doing it already.
You are.
Doing it already. You know, we are the people that's going to bring heaven back to earth, because heaven was always supposed to be earth.
That's right.
And this is what they sent the preachers to rock you to sleep without ever finding out, is that you wouldn't know to turn earth into your heaven. They want you to believe that it was in a place you were going to when you die. And this is why most of the rich and wealthy have to sign NDAs so they won't tell us this. Heaven and hell It's what you created to be here on earth. Here
Hey, Chief.
in
Chief,
these,
can you hear
go
me,
ahead.
Chief? I know some people are getting
I
tired of waiting, and and they don't think that Nasara Jasar is real. But I just want to quickly reiterate that along what you're saying about the heaven on earth, being taxed makes you feel like you're in hell. But currently, Trump is doing away with the IRS, and it's in terms of states, 13 states have made movements to not tax. 13 states that don't tax IRA and or 401 distributions. There are 13 states that now saying they're not taxing. And more than that, you have other states such as Georgia and Mississippi that are getting rid of income taxes. So there are many states. Check your state. There are a lot of states that's getting rid of state. We know in Florida, we already don't have income taxes. But there are other states that have passed legislation. Mississippi was the last one in 2025 to say no more state income tax. And Georgia's now got that on the table right now. Where you are, Chief, in Atlanta, Georgia, they're talking about getting rid of income taxes for the state. So it's happening, family. It seemed like it's taking so long. But if we do the things Chief Mack tells us to do, in the meantime, we could take our mind off of it. I know it's hard, but get your trust through Chief Mack. After you get foreign currencies and whatever assets you have, you contact Chief Mack at unityandmotion45@yahoo.com. Get you a trust and put your assets in the trust so you can protect them. And make sure you have your humanitarian projects created. All this helps you to prepare for the golden age that we've already entered. And Trump made that announcement February 11th that we've welcome to the golden age. And now I yield to you, Chief Mack.
Yeah, all that's happening is that we have been fortunate enough to be opened up to a hidden world that had always been.
Yeah.
It's nothing new.
Oh,
It's nothing new. We are
oh,
so. That's why it's only just 1% of us doing this here.
okay.
We are the 1%ers that's going to replace the old 1%ers.
Mm,
And so when what's happening is so powerful. A lot of us, this is bigger than just a wealth transfer. It's bigger than that.
come on, Chief.
This is going, it's going to involve you cleaning and purging your heart from wickedness, man.
Mm,
You know, I've been telling people if you get any amount of wealth right here and you have to clean your heart, a fool and his money will surely depart. And mark my word.
mm,
You think you're gonna tap over into wealth and you got an evil, wicked heart? You hadn't dropped down and repented from your wicked ways. And I'm not talking about a religious repent. I'm talking about an ancestral repent. The ancestors, the great spirit, for trespassing against your own brothers and sisters. You know, Rod did a show with Chief Pontiac. I'm about to say, he did a show with the young man. And he was saying that, in so many words, it be our own people that be attacking us and keeping us from moving forward.
mm-hmm.
This I've been saying the same, but we see it right now. It be our own people that be
It
hindering
does.
us the most. And then they got us mad at the wrong people, and the people that we so-called mad at. There's no such thing as black and white people. Those are created. That's a smoke screen. And right now we've tearing that wall down of deception. The people behind all the chaos in the world are melanated people
Mm,
and created all the other nations of people. You need to know who we are to put them in front. And in the United States corporation is really a cover for the black nobility to continue to bring people over here to replace the melanated people. And how do they replace the melanated people? They
mm,
put us in the prison. They put us in the prison system. And once they get you inside that prison system, and you don't have any core support or family members, they take advantage of you. They put you on these psychedelic drugs, mess your mind up. So even when you get out of prison, you're still in prison.
mm-hmm.
Even though you get out, you're still in prison. Let alone Earth is a prison planet. But
Right.
they need our energy so you can keep on being. They don't have a problem taking you out of here once you get them jurisdiction over, because they know that what's going to happen. You're going to be reincarnated right back here. And you're gonna keep on going around in that circle until you wake your ass up, man. And then it starts by getting rid of the hate, the envy, malice, and jealousy. That right there is the soul trap. It's the soul trap. And I'm gonna tell you something. If you don't break that cycle, you continue to have your bloodline, not only you, and the soul trap too.
Mm.
Once you come out of that matrix and you stop giving to the hate, the envy, malice, and jealousy from your heart, and then you start operating in trust and pull yourself out of being a citizen which sits in sin, which take you out of the beast system, out of that jurisdiction, then you start teaching your children the right celestial family way of being. And that has nothing to do with religion, education, politics, or any of that. We go back to loving on the earth, loving
Yes.
nature, reverencing the matriarch. That's what we go back to. And it's
Mm.
starting to happen like that. And anybody who are not able to make that switch and the transition from 3 to the 5D are going to have some tough times.
Mm.
While we living in our heaven, everybody's not, there's going to be people out here going through it.
Ooh.
Be prepared. So this is why the rich and wealthy don't want to look at what's going on. They don't want to watch. They don't care about watching TV. They
Mm-mm.
have their own world, and that world which they live in is heaven on earth. They don't watch. Rich people don't have time to watch the news and watch TV.
No.
They don't have time. They're so busy living a productive life. They don't have time to watch that shit. Because they know it's nothing but entertainment. They know it's
That's
nothing
it.
but social engineering, psychological warfare. They don't
Distract.
even want to look. They don't even want to look at that because what goes into the eye gates, if you're not aware of what you're seeing, it's going to create your thinking mentality. And many of these people out there, they think they're thinking on their own, but your thinking is not your own. You're being controlled by the speech system
Mm-hmm.
because you give them false reality that they put on TV, and you turn it, you give it life, you create it. They put on here that the celebrities are married, that the women are taking the man to the bank cleaners with 100 million dollars, and all that stuff is fake.
It's
You mean to
fake.
tell you mean to tell me this basketball player was worth 150 million and he didn't get a trust? And
Right.
then you hearing that so-called wife was really a woman with a stick. Because it's inverted women, they
Yeah.
flip flop. They flip flop. And until you
Mm-hmm.
get that in your head, that flip flop.
Mm-hmm.
The women give the men back shots in Hollywood. How about that?
Mm.
How about that? They're inverted because you cannot have a seat in a world that's ruled and governed by the beast system, and the ruler and the controller over this world is an inverted God. So people that he had that are pressed and pushed on mainstream television are made in his image. You don't get to have a seat. I don't care what you think. This is what I know. What I know. You don't get to have a seat up there unless you're made in that fashion.
Mm.
So it's a lot of work we have to do. And this is why I decided to go live on YouTube because I need to open the people up to it. Because once you really see how wicked this world is, and you acting wicked alone, but that means you sign off on the wicked that's going on that you're gonna have to pay for. I'm here
Wow.
to tell you, that if you have wronged somebody, if you have lied on somebody, if you're trying to cause chaos in somebody's life, those records have been written. If you don't
Mm.
fall to your knees and repent from your wicked ways and ask for forgiveness to that person you have trespassed, you got hell to pay. And that's on earth
Mm.
and in the afterlife.
Cool.
You have been warned. And that's why I move in such a fashion that we move. We're doing well. You out
Thank
here making, you think that you can make a threat and allow somebody and sit back and smile? Those who smile first cry last.
you. Oh.
That's a promise. And we're moving with power and authority. We're moving with expectations. We're moving. So continue to hold on, guys. All we can do is hold on. Be strong. You know, we got each other to be strong. We got the Soul Tribe. We got my show. We got each other to be strong. Hold on, guys. Don't sell your currency. Don't sell your gold. Just hold on just a little bit while longer.
It's a little longer.
They're trying to make you sell. They're trying to make you give up. They're watching us. They're watching everything we do. But we
They're
got each other
watching
to
us
hold on
right
to.
now. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, I allow the spirit to use me. You know, I get all kind of emails and inbox and guys. But I had one of my clients. She bought a trust from me. She said, "Chief, I'm living in my car. It's cold here in North Carolina."
Oh
She
my
said,
God.
"Did you know anybody that can just sleep on their floor inside the house?" That's, that's the
Mm, mm. Chief is talking about how he was talking to somebody in the soul tribe who needs a
Can you
place to
hear me?
stay.
Oh,
I'm listening. We can hear you, Chief.
back.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I'm keep this. Can you hear me, Kim?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
'Cause
Yes.
I don't hear you.
I can hear you, Chief. I can hear you. I don't know what's happening. He can't hear me. They cut him out. We can hear you, Chief. He's going to go out and come back in. You saw the people who control your account, Kingsley? Yeah, you worked for the British Crown, so you probably saw a number of things that we never would see. Wow. Chief's coming back in, family. I know hearing people are homeless, it does hurt the herbal. I agree. It's so painful. It's heartbreaking.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you,
Okay.
Chief. Hmm. Can you hear us, Chief? You can hear. Oh, they can hear you in the chat. They said they can hear you. We can hear you, Chief. Yeah, we can hear you speaking.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I
Okay.
just want to. Yeah. You just gotta just hold on for a bit longer.
Okay.
Just hold on for a bit longer. Things will be all right.
Hmm.
Just gotta persevere, remain steadfast.
Hmm.
I had another. She was trying to $40. I said $40 to get the food
Can't hear
started
you.
in the job. I'm doing that.
You breaking up, Chief.
Hold on
We can't hear you. Oh man, they giving Chief a hard time.
Can you hear me?
Can't hear you, Chief.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Oh,
you.
these people are doing something good. Okay, good. I had to move the phone.
You had to
Yeah,
move the
but
phone.
people are going through it. So people are going through it. So we just got to be able to just help when we can. Help people. And I'm happy that who I am today. I'm happy because I'm helping. I'm helping, and I'm doing nothing different. I'm doing nothing different. You know. So let's just hold on. Our miracle's on its way. We'll be able to cash in on the foreign currency. It's going to come and have like a thief in the night. We'll be able to really cry because
You got a question, Chief. You got a
yes,
question. Thank you so much for giving me a gift. Who is that? 4206 change. Thank you. God bless you. This person asked, what's going to happen with the prison system when the government goes away?
well, here's there's a part in the Bible they talk about. Y'all remember that? And keep in mind that the Bible is a scripted book. It's not the word of the Great Spirit. It's a scripted book. They basically telling you what's going to happen. What they wrote in there. They're telling you that they knew that one day their time was going to come to an end.
Mm-hmm.
And this is Revelation. The Revelation is not the word of the Great Spirit. It's telling you the end of the world was not that the whole world was going to end. It was saying that it was the end of their wicked system. So they told you that script. Remember that there's a part that said that the prisoners would be free.
Mm-hmm.
See, watch this right here. Everything dealing with the prison system and dealing with court cases and tickets, it's not about a crime you broke. It's all commerce. It's all dealing with. They say, can you pay for your crime? That means you pay for your crime from that estate. You're in prison because they're after your estate. So if you didn't have an estate for them to pull from, guess what? You wouldn't be in prison.
Hmm.
Did you catch that? You have
Hmm.
an
If you didn't
estate,
have an estate for them to. Hmm.
you wouldn't be in prison. Because the very reason why you're in there is so that they call you a trustee. It's because they pulling from your estate. You paying room and board to be locked up in prison. So they train these police like robots and androids. They train them. And they putting you over for a traffic ticket like you a serial killer.
Hmm.
The real gangsters and crooks and criminals are the ones in the judicial system. These not even don't have anything to do with a judicial system, but these are police LLCs. Police government. They're just an LLC. So they had to turn you to an LLC. In other words, turn it to corporation and make you a corporation. If you're a corporation, you are a corpse. And then if you go to court, the judge coming in, he coming to a wait. It's all simple about he coming to a wait. He's going to because he got dead people coming to the courtroom and he summons you to rise. All rise and the dead is resurrected. And then he resurrected. He said that he summons you. Now he got control over you.
Mm.
Been railroading the people in these courtrooms and getting a gang of wealth all attacking the people. The people don't even know. Now we're knowing what's going on.
Hmm.
And simply, they put you in hell with paperwork, and you can get yourself out of hell with paperwork. How about that?
That's right. And under Trump's
So
first
the,
administration,
mhm,
he already started letting go a lot of people that had
I saw that.
non-violent offenses. So a
Because
lot
you
of
shouldn't
people
be
in
in prison
prison.
unless you have it.
Say it again.
Go ahead.
I
You
was saying
shouldn't be in prison unless you shouldn't be in prison unless you got killed somebody. You shouldn't.
hmm hmm Right, right. A lot of people in prison
You said a
shouldn't
lot
be
of people
there.
what?
A lot of people shouldn't be there. Under Trump, his first administration, and even now, he's releasing people that have non-violent offenses.
And you know why they shouldn't be there, guys? You know why they shouldn't be there? It's because that was a law that was invented, that was created to put our handballs.
There was a law
They
created to
invent
do what?
laws on the books. They created law on the book. People to put the lock them up. So in the late 70s and early 80s, the prison system started booming.
You start your
So they
phone, baby.
created
You
laws
breaking up. You
right
breaking up
after
very. You breaking up very badly, Chief. Very heavily.
right right after they you should hear me now.
Okay.
Right after they created right after they the prison system. And go back and look at
And some of y'all said he's speaking too much truth, talking about how this prison system was created and why it was created. It wasn't about trying to get criminalities off the street. It was about trying to access our funds and steal money from us. All right, Chief. Somebody said maybe if you stood by the window, you could get better reception. That was Sister Janine.
created the prison system.
You
They
can't hear you.
all of the
Can't hear you.
and the industry
Can't hear
and
you.
to him now.
Can't hear you, Chief.
Can you hear me? Testing, testing, testing. Can you hear me?
Now we can hear you, but it breaks up real bad.
Yeah, it's just this this I'm in wall. Can you hear me now?
Mm-mm. When are you going live again, Chief? We can catch you later when you go live. I know he's going to go live sometime this evening. I'll let the Soul Tribe know when he's going live so we can hear the rest of this because it's good. Oh, okay. Larry says, hi, Brother Larry Bolton. It's nice to see you here again. That's a great friend of Chief Max. He said, Chief is in a place where there's a lot of steel and concrete. That's why we can't hear. Kingsley says Salvador will build mega prisons. Really? Okay. And take people from all over? Oh my. But yeah, the real criminals are the ones that's leading the government. The real criminals, he says, very bad reception, guys. That's Chief Max speaking. I just put it up. The real criminals are the so-called leaders, the government leaders, the government officials, CEOs of many of these major corporations, bankers. They call them banksters. So, Chief Mac, can you let us know what time you're going live tonight? I told him you'll probably come on tonight, so we can hear the rest of this. The Soul Tribe wants to hear what you were saying. And those of you who asked about the link of the 13 cities that will no longer do, or states that will no longer do income taxes, they will no longer tax your IRAs or retirement. I put the link in the chat. Alaska. Let's see if I can get it up here. Is one. Alaska residents who are 65 or older can claim property tax exemption for the first time, for the first 150,000. I'll just put it right here. So it's Alaska, Florida, Illinois, Iowa, Mississippi, Nevada, New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas. Somebody speaking of Texas in the chat said for the first time they went and they bought some groceries and there were no taxes in Texas or on groceries or other things. Washington is another one. Wyoming. Those are the states that were listed. And then here's a link that says here are the 9 states with no income tax. That was no taxes on retirements that we read. I'm gonna give y'all this one too. No income tax, the 9 states. Let me see if you can see that. You're welcome. The taxes, the states with no income tax are Alaska, Florida, Nevada, New Hampshire, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Washington, Wyoming. Okay, they don't have Mississippi here. Mississippi didn't have no income taxes. The governor took care of the legislation to make sure there's no taxes in Mississippi, excuse me, as of March 2025. And now the state of Georgia will have no taxes. Here it is, Mississippi Governor Reeves signs historic legislation eliminating Mississippi's individual income tax. Just showing you all that Nassar is already here. Sometimes people don't know what's happening because if you don't know, you don't know. They're not going to announce this on mainstream media. Governor Reeves signed a historic legislation eliminating income tax. He signed that legislation, which was House Bill 1, or the Build Up Mississippi Act. It empowers the state workforce by not taxing their hard-earned wages and gives Mississippi another competitive advantage when competing for new electronic development projects and private capital. The governor says, I'm proud to sign into law a complete elimination of the individual income tax in the state of Mississippi, said State Governor Tate Reeves. Let me say that again. Mississippi, he says, will no longer tax the work, the earnings, or the ambition of its people. The legislation I'm signing today puts us in the rare class of elite competitive states. There are only a handful of states in the country that do not tax income. Today, Mississippi joins their ranks, and in so doing, we plant our flag. All right. So that's that. That was March 27, 2025. Mississippi, more states are moving to do the same. I announced that Georgia right now is making movement to do the same thing. Let me show you that. Eliminate. So states have repealed state sales taxes on the sales of precious metals, now therefore acknowledging silver and gold as money. I'll show you that, 40 I found an article says 46, more than 46 states, but I'm going to show you the Sound Money Defense League because that's a very credible page. 45 states reclaim silver and gold as money, showing you that a lot is happening for people who don't know that Nassar is real and that they're making movement. Here you go right here. The Sound Money Defense League says 45 states. This is a precious metals revolution. Join the tax-free gold and silver movement to sound money. Why is it important to remove taxes from the sales of precious metals? Because precious metals is money. The people that took us off the gold standard put taxes on precious metals unlawfully. They were treasonous in doing that. And they said precious metals are no longer money. It can be deemed as a collectible, a commodity like art, an artifact. So we can tax it, is what these people in power said. The states are taking back or reclaiming their power by saying, nope, we revoked that. No longer can you tax gold and silver as money. Now, this is why you're hearing a lot of people talk about gold and silver. This is why Basel III compliance, he says that banks had to recognize gold as a tier 1 asset, meaning they have to recognize gold as money. Also, when the Supreme Court overturned the Chevron doctrine, they took another step, that eliminating the federal government's power. They took a step to eliminate the Federal Reserve central banking system by saying state-sponsored banks can operate independently from the Federal Reserve central banking system and issue out their own gold-backed currencies. Another thing states are doing is they removed the Federal Reserve's ability to create CDCs, central bank CBDC, central bank digital currencies. How did they do that? They said they're unlawful, unconstitutional, treasonous. They did this a couple years ago. Many states, most states said central bank digital currencies can't be used. In our state, they're taking back their power. And now what are they doing? They're removing income taxes. I told you Mississippi removing income tax. I showed you the 13 states that's removing taxes from retirements. And now let me show you what Georgia is doing as it relates to income taxes. Georgia. Okay, I need to click on that one. Georgia, hold on. Georgia eliminates state income. What is the state of Georgia doing to eliminate income taxes? They're not going to report this type of information in mainstream media because they don't want you to know that you're free. They don't want you to know that Nassar is real. They want you to think that, we should just give up, but we're not. We're going to keep hope alive. We're going to know that this is real. Georgia State passes state income tax relief, and it goes on to tell you what. Senate Bill 476, 477 will lower the state income tax from 5% to 4.9% for personal filers. That's what one says. But another article says that they're eliminating taxes. I'll let you do that research on your own, that Georgia is moving to first reduce income taxes and then to eliminate income taxes. You would like to know about med bed training as well? We'll have to bring on the person that has a med bed here in Jacksonville and ask him. He's the person from whom I buy my products from Holistic is going to come on to talk about med beds, and he's going to provide that service to the Soul Tribe. So that's it, family. Thank you so much for listening. This is wonderful news. It's a wonderful time to be alive. As we said, let me recap. Several judges, and attorneys, mostly attorneys, which judges are attorneys, have walked out of the Department of Justice. Now, this is they say they're upset with President Trump and the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, but what's really happening is Trump is reshaping that department because he has to downsize the government. He is given directions by the military to downsize the government. So you have several of them. Some people say as many as 8,000 have walked away. I showed you that they're saying this just happened, but actually 70% of one particular part of the Department of Justice, the civil rights attorneys, 70% of them are gone already. And a great portion of those that were in the Department of Justice, not just attorneys, not just judges, but agents and other workers, employers, they're leaving the Department of Justice. As of today, we know that more than 300,000 government workers have been let go. They're going to tell you that's because of whatever reason. They're going to blame it on Trump trying to hurt the people. They're going to blame it on Trump being upset with the Black people that were given these jobs because due to equity and inclusion or whatever. They're going to use all this rhetoric. But what's really happening is the government that was controlling us and our movements and our behavior, they're unlawful, they're unconstitutional, they're treasonous. All 444 of their agencies have to be dismantled. This is why the Supreme Court of the United States overturned the Chevron doctrine in June of 2024, because the Chevron doctrine gave the government unlimited powers, but the government was never supposed to government or control, govern, or manage the mind, the mentality. Okay, we have a republic, our lawful republic. And outside of that, you have family laws, you have tribal laws, tribal ways of doing things. You don't need bloodline families to incorporate themselves as a nonprofit religious organization with the Pope as their leader to tell you what to do on your own lands, wherever you're from, in your own countries, in your own home. That has to be dismantled. We don't need the Federal Reserve central banking system. We have gold, we have silver. We have our own lawful money. Our Constitution in Article 1, Section 10 says the only thing that can be used to pay off debt is silver and gold. It defines, the Constitution does, the dollar is a fixed weight in silver and a fixed weight in gold. So we did not need this. We have a new member. Thank you for joining. Oh, no, you've been a member for 6 months. Mystical Energy Vibe says, thank you so much for your wisdom and shining your light worldwide. Peace and blessings. Thank you for those very, very encouraging words. God, the Creator, bless you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. You're welcome. Nothing can stop what's coming. We are there. You're welcome. Conversations with Sunshine says, thank you for bringing this information to us. You're welcome. It's too late, baby. It's too late for them. Too much, too little, too late to ever try again. Remember that song? Too much, too little, too late, although you said we're friends. Remember? But it's over, and it's over now that the chips are down. We know too much. We know about the children. We know that we've been enslaved. We know that your fake corporation is fake, that it's unconstitutional, unlawful. We know that you're treasonous. We know if you're an attorney, you would turn for us to speak on our behalf because you think we're dead at sea. And unbeknownst to most of you as attorneys in judgment, you were working for the British Crown, the British Accredited Registry, but now you have a chance to redeem yourself. You can do what the Department of Justice just did and just walk out, step down. Because we've now entered the golden age. President Trump put this on his Truth Social on the 11th. Why he do it February 11th? 11 is a doorway. It's a portal. Out with the old, in with the new. 11 is a masterful number. It is a very high vibrational number. Look up the number 11. On the 11th, he says, and now the golden age is here. President DJT. Before he said that, January the 30th, Melania came out with the movie by her name, Melania. You do the gematria of Melania, it comes up to 55. When you look at Q post 55, it says the storm is here. So the storm is arresting a lot of these attorneys and judges. Is arresting a lot of these entertainers that you don't see anymore. All you see is masked people that look like them. They're arresting a lot of congressmen and congresswomen, which a lot of them are con men and con women. A lot of them don't create laws anyway. They create statutes, codes, and policies, and they sick their policy enforcers on us, and they haul us off into court to do all these nefarious things. But beyond that, they can't create laws because they have Esquire by their name, behind their name. And according to our Constitution, you cannot have a title of nobility. Jacob Bay is doing well. I'm going to call him today. He called me a couple of days ago. We chatted over the last few days. I'll tell him you guys are asking about. I'll tell him you asked about him, Sister Janine, as well. Y'all miss him. So it's over. It's over. Now that the chips are down, it's over for them. But it's a new beginning for us, family. Out with the old, in with the new. What we see now is central casting. That's right. That's what we see now. Empress Love says, you be singing all the songs my parents party to in the basements and the colored lights and balls. I know I'm singing the song of my daddy that he used to listen to. All my aunts and uncles, they used to be in the basement. My grandma was a Christian woman. I don't know what my aunts and uncles and my daddy was doing down in that basement, but I sure smelled some funny smelling stuff coming up out of the vents. And grandma would act like she couldn't smell it. I'm like, I know you smell that, granny. Starch Christian woman. And while they sitting there listening to all their songs in the basement, the songs that, you know, from the 70s, and then toward the 80s, they start listening to Flashlight, boom, 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 funk music, neon light, remember that? Now I lay me down to sleep. Remember that? And remember, what's the white girl we used to love? Tina Marie was my favorite. Because I wasn't allowed to listen to music, but my aunts and uncles and my daddy, because I lived with my grandma, my paternal grandma, for a great portion of my life. Boy, they played them some Tina Marie all day and night. I loved me some Tina Marie. And the guy used to sing, oh, she's a brick. Dun, dun, dun. House. She's a mighty, just letting it all hang out. Y'all remember that? And the guy that had the long locks with the right here, I think he used to like or date Tina Marie. The long locks, and he had the bangs. Can't think of that brother's name. They listen to his music. They listen to Sister Sledge. They listen to all the 70s. Float on. Then when it was getting high, float on by the Floaters. Yeah, all those musicians. I be singing them because I have flashbacks. Those were my happy days growing up in the 70s, the 60s and the 70s. You too? Oh my God. Al Green, thank you, Sister Janine. The Temptations, Marvin Gaye, Tina Marie, Stephanie Mills, EWF, Earth, Wind, and Fire. That's who I couldn't think of, Earth, Wind, and Fire. And who was the guy with the long locks, long braids? What was his name? His hair was like cut right here with the long. Oh man, he was the Commodores. Rick James. Yeah, yes. We used to listen to that coming through the basement. Who was that sing? All my love is all I have. And today you're very special. All my life I look for you. And today my dreams come true. You need me and I need you. Y'all remember that? Couldn't sing worth a darn, I couldn't. But my best friend Boosie and I, she grew up next door to me. We swore we was gonna be popular singers one day. Tina Marie had a great voice. Great voice. Y'all remember that? And it's over. It's over. Now that the chips are down. Oh, I love me some Rick James. But when I moved from Cleveland to Portsmouth, Ohio, y'all won't believe this. Then we didn't have MTV, we didn't have BET, we didn't have our, the good music on the 45 blaring on the records. We listened to, y'all gonna laugh at this. We listened to AC/DC because I was around a whole bunch of Caucasians from Portsmouth. Portsmouth was a small hick town with about 20,000 people, and we grew up around a lot of hillbillies. So we started listening to AC/DC, and we started listening to all that music that we that they listen to. We started listening to country, rock, and pop, and all that. We didn't even hear Michael Jackson. I didn't even hear about Michael Jackson until the 1986 when I went to college, because we didn't have BET and MTV in Portsmouth, Ohio. We was listening to Another One Bites the Dust. Another One Bites the Dust. Hey, 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 and headbanging music. When that's what you would hear in the stores, and my mom didn't allow me to hear the music, but you heard it if they turned on the radio. That was funny. Lady T. Oh, Brick House was the stuff right back in that. Oh man. Yes, that was real music in the 70s. Chloe Harris says Tina Marie's Deja Vu song is so powerful for what we're experiencing today. Deborah Laws, yes. Deborah Lawson. Parliament, the Funkadelics. Yep. I remember them. Motown Records. What'd you say about Motown? Motown creators of the music. Three brothers didn't get true recognition. The 80s jams where they were the Ohio players. My uncle Ronnie Diamond Horde, played the lead guitar for the Ohio players. Yes, that man. I don't know what they singing today. Sister Sharon Baker said, please stop murdering those classic songs. Oh my God. She said, what'd you say? AC/DC. Oh my God, AC/DC. Yeah, that played in Portsmouth, Ohio when I was growing up. 60s, 70s, 80s was music that love the love songs. Some of them they were talking about cheating in some of those love songs. We just didn't know what they were talking about. I remember being in a car with my grandma, and I end with this. A song came on, and I started singing the lyrics to it because I heard it. And she knew I wasn't. She said, do you know what you're singing about? I said, no, ma'am. She's like, shut your mouth. Right. And I never knew why I got in trouble until I was like 40 something. Let me tell you what they were singing. They said, if it don't fit, don't force it. Just relax and let it go. I had no idea what they was talking about that wasn't fitting. I had no idea why they were saying don't force it. I don't know why they were saying relax and let it go. But when I was like in my 40s, I got it. The Advantage was a white band. I don't remember them. Now I know some of my white music now. Don't play with me. But I don't know that one. Who remembers Rick James at the awards? Taylor called him by someone else's name. He responded, it's Rick James B. I remember that. I do. Natalie Cole, yes. Love Won't Let Me Wait. You taking me back. Roller skating in the 80s. My aunts and uncles they would be practicing in the house. We owned a store. My grandparents owned a store. So we had a storefront in the front of our house, which by the time I grew up, we still had freezers and all that stuff and some of the shelves and all that stuff. But but they weren't operating the store by the time I was 10. But my aunts and uncles, they would be in there practicing in the storefront, skating, getting ready to go out to go skate in the 70s and 80s. Yeah. Somebody's Watching Me by Maxwell and Michael Jackson. Do y'all remember that? I take my grandchildren roller skating now. Rick James was not to be played with. No, did he go with Tina Marie or did he found her? Because for some reason I see them together. Man, I love me some Tina Marie. Fifth Dimension, they sang This Is the Age of Aquarius, right? Then that's the age we're in now. Pebbles. Oh, you just went skating, Sister Janine? So now I'm just rambling, family. We're just reminiscing. Phyllis Hyman, yes. I cannot think of my favorite song Boosie and I used to sing. I don't know. But I do remember the song, To Be Real. It's got to be real. To be real. Ho, 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 ho. Sue. I got to have it, baby. I got to have it, baby. I got to have it, baby. You know, I remember that so well because we had a aunt, a play aunt. She was my auntie's best friend, so we called her aunt. Her name was Aunt Ruby. And so she would always say, for real. And that was that was her favorite song. So we'd be like, whenever we as kids would say, for real, we would be like, for Ruby real. And then we used to break out singing that song. Man, those were the days. We had a great childhood. A great childhood. Person to person, average white band, telephone line back connection. Bounce, skate. I remember that. Roll, bounce. I remember that. Mystical energy vibes. Yeah. Rick James and Tina Marie were soulmates, Sunshine Gold said. I knew I remember seeing them together all the time. The Jackson 5. I remember the Jackson 5. Absolutely. Who did? I sucked at double dutch, but my best friend Boosie and all my cousins, they were really good. Yvette wants to know who did double dutch. Y'all remember that double dutch bus moving down the street? Da 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 Jaleesa, Javana, and Don be singing names. I remember the double dutch song, but double dutch jump roping, they were so good at it. I never mastered that. People at your job call you Tina Marie. Didn't know who she was, but your honor. Oh my God, she was a very, very popular singer in the 80s. Like she was, I want to say one of the most popular singers. Let me see. In our time, I was born in 68. Let me show you what she looked like. This is what she looks like most recently. Is she still alive? Okay. This is Tina Marie. You gotta listen to her. Her music is just amazing. R&B and soul singer. She's only 5 foot. She was been active since 1974. She sings disco, quiet storm. Hey son, R&B, funk, contemporary R&B, adult contemporary R&B. Oh, she sang Square Biz. Remember that? Square Biz. Oh yeah. I'm talking square biz to you, baby. Square biz. I'm talking love. Square biz. Lord, I love me some Tina Marie. Don't play with me. That's how she looked recently, but these are some. Like, this book. This is her. What? They're saying Tina Marie's cause of death. Did she pass? That can't be. It can't be. It can't be. But yeah, she has an amazing voice. Maybe you favor Tina Marie. Oh, Rick James and Tina Marie. Wow. That's them over here at the BET Awards. They must have been together a long time. All right, I'm not going to bore your patience, family. Now I'm reminiscing. I'm just butchering songs from our childhood and having a good time. Rick James and Tina were together. They went together. They were an item. Okay, I thought so. Thank you. Billie Jean by Michael Jackson. That came out in the 80s, right? Billie Jean is not my love. Y'all, when y'all see the movie Melania, you're going to hear that song in there. Sister Sledge. Yes. They had one called We Are Family. Hey, 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 hey. I got all my sisters in me. You dropped a bomb on me. I hear you, Joe. Baby, you dropped a bomb on me. I remember that. Joe Orgon Bubbles. Frank Smith. Sunshine Gold says, girl, you taking me back to my childhood. I'm in the kitchen grooving, right? That was real music. So there was a song, there was a band called Average White Band. Oh gotta go listen to their music. I don't remember who they are. Oh, Minnie Riperton. Man. Oh, she's the one. She was married to a white guy. She passed away from cancer. I remember that. And that was her. I think that might the song, her last song or one of her last songs, she actually wrote to her husband. It's a sad and beautiful song. Some people say that who's that one singer that sings really really high. Uh, they say she mimics Minnie Riperton. Mimi, they call her Mimi. Who they call Mimi? The butterfly, the singer now. She mimics, or they say sings like, or tries to sing like Minnie Riperton. Let's see, what was Minnie Riperton's famous song? Loving you. Oh man, yeah. She goes la 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 and do do do. Y'all know I ain't gonna hit that. Oh my gosh, he had the most beautiful voice ever. Marvin Gaye was very popular. Marvin Gaye came out of my church, the House of God. His father was a bishop in the church. Philip Hyman, The Whisperers, y'all taking me back. Heat Wave, the Isley Brothers, Gap Band, Cheryl Lynn, Switch. Yes. We gonna be all grooving. Annie Lennox, Adam Ant. Right? You love the oldies. You still have some of your parents' LPs. I mentioned the LP the other day. My grandson said, "What in the world is an LP? What's a 45?" We had great childhood, Sister Janine, especially when I was with my grandparents. Who is this funky funk? Oh, play that funky music, white boy. Play that funky music, white. I remember that. Bob Johnson. Rick Talk Tina, the music game. Okay. Cheryl Lynn is the one who sang To Be Real. Thank you. Thank you. Tina Marie's voice was just beautiful. Sister Janine, you could do double dutch? They be having double dutch contests and conventions now. Who was the Average White Band? What did they sing that was famous? Did they sing Play That Funky Music, White Boy? If they sang that song, I remember that song extremely well. The Average White Band. Okay. They were a Scottish funk and R&B band. Oh, AWB. Okay. I had to look them up. I'm gonna have to listen to their music. Bob Johnson got billions off Black's demise. I should read the lyrics to Deja Vu by Tina Marie. Okay, Lydell, I will. She mentions the reincarnation process, similar to what Chief Mack teaches. What? Okay, I have to look at that. Shirlene was discovered on the Gong Show. Remember the Gong Show? You had to come on the show and sing. If you were good, you could pass. If you weren't, they would hit this big old bell and with this big thing and go boom. You get donged out. I remember the Gong Show from the 70s. Yeah, man, Tina Marie had a lovely voice. Her vocal range was off the chart. Yeah. She was a black soul in a white body. That child could sing. Who knows? She could have been mixed. You know that. You know some of them were had that one drop of blood in them. She passed away. How come I didn't know that? They both passed. I remember the SOS band. Take your time, do it right. Take your time. We can do it, baby. We can do it. We can do it. Take your time, do it right. Yeah, Tina Marie sang like she was black. I remember all that. Oh, Tina. Oh. You were born 7/11/1968. You're older now by a few months. Tony. Wow. 68 babies in the house. 60 babies. Fire and Desire with Rick James. Square B. She didn't get recognized for her voice. Tina Marie did it. Wow. Act 2, Scene 5. Portuguese Love. I see it. Your favorite song is Deja Vu. I'm gonna look for that. I'm gonna look for that song, Deja Vu. Oh man, I didn't know she passed. Fire and Desire. Yeah, her duet with Rick James. She been gone for a long time. Oh wow. Okay. Damien Dame both died under Babyface. Okay. She passed before Rick James, Tina did. Oh, that must have broken his heart. Dang. Mariah Carey, that's who I was trying to think of. Mariah Carey, they say her voice symbolized Minnie Riperton, but Minnie Riperton was a powerhouse. I don't know their genders, what if they were born, hello, good afternoon, but they were born as, a lot of them, they say transgender. My grandma did a great job. Thank you. Thank you so much. We are family. I got all my sisters and me. Firecrackers by Mass Production. Oh, yeah. Michael Jackson sang. He was a great singer. Great. Luther Vandross. Michael Jackson's Beat It. Look, I think of all these, Tina Marie might have been my favorite. I'm not going to even front. For real. I grew up listening to her. I loved her song, her music, her songs. I was listening to them every day in the basement. My uncles were playing them, my aunties. Happy by Rick James. Okay. Loving You. Oh, Average White Man. The song Love of Your Own. Y'all gave me some work to do. I had to listen to the Average White Man because I'm sure I heard them, but I don't remember their music. Smokey Robinson. I had an auntie that dated Smokey Robinson in college. Oh, mercy, mercy me. All things ain't what they used to be. No. Man, we have the greatest childhood, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Yes. DeBarge. Remember, some people might not notice that Janet Jackson married DeBarge, one of the DeBarge brothers. Y'all remember that? And some say they had a secret love child. I remember that. I think she might have married, that might have been the guy she married when she turned 18. And that's when she came out singing Control. She was saying, I'm going to live my own life. I'm going to do what I want to do. Y'all can't control me. My mama, daddy can't control me no more. She was dancing, singing the Control, knocking down chairs and, doing all kind of crazy stuff. Then ran away and got married to the DeBarge boy. Minnie Riperton's daughter is a comedian on SNL. I didn't know that. The Whispers. Yep. We had the 8 tracks back then. I agreed. These kids don't know about 8 tracks, records, record players, LPs, none of that. Chicago was a nice band group. Oh, to go back to that day. Hey. Just a Touch of Love by Slave. Don't forget the rappers, Sugar Hill Gang, and I'm Curtis Blow, and I want you to know that these are the breaks. Break it up, break it up, break it up, break down. And he sang These Are the Breaks, and he sang, what else did he sing? What did Curtis Blow sing? But I remember the Sugar Hill Gang. They were the ones that came out with the first rap song, right? In the 80s. I didn't like that rap. I didn't like it. I didn't understand it. Even when it first came out, don't get me wrong, this started to grow on me as you hear it all the time. But when that rap first came out, after listening to the 70s music that my aunts and uncles played, That whole Sugar Hill Gang, I just couldn't understand it. What they say? If your girl start acting up, then I'll take her friend. It's on me. And my mellow, it's on you. So what you gonna do? And it's on and on and on and on. The beat don't stop to the break of dawn. And it's on and on and on and on like hop the bop the bop the bop. Baby, baby, hop the bop the bop. You don't dare stop. Come on, baby. Give me what you got. You remember that? What you hear is not a test. I'm just rapping to the beat. I said me, my friends, and somebody else. We just rapping to the beat or something like that. Yeah. And then the double Dutch bus moving down the street. I remember those songs. You said the average white brand they got a few bangers. Okay. A Love of Your Own. I don't know that one. Pick Up the Pieces. Earth, Wind, and Fire. I guess that's one of the all-time favorites. All-time favorites. Thank you for helping me to reminisce. Shantae Moore is in her own person. She doesn't copy anyone, but perhaps many influenced her. Oh, but many influenced. I wasn't thinking about Shantae Moore, though. I was thinking about how she influenced Mimi. Y'all said Mariah Carey. In my humble opinion, or my strong opinion. Yeah. I'm rapping to the beat. Y'all remember that? You was popping to that music on stages. Empress, where's you? Where? Remember when funk came out, man? That was a thing. Juicy Fruit. Yep. Billy Paul. The Silvers. Come on through here. Play at your own risk, family. Is this just state income taxes or all taxes? I'll let you read the article. I'll put it in the chat and I will put that in the description section as well. Boogie Favor. Computer Love. I remember that. The Melanin Man album. Check out Columbus Ghost and Haiti. He's a reggae artist. Thank you. Curtis Blow. And I want you to know that these are the breaks. Break it up, break it up, break it up. Lou Rawls, you're gonna miss my loving. Ooh. What else did Curtis Blow say? Do y'all know who they say Curtis Blow is? Y'all ain't gonna believe me. They say that Kanye West is Curtis Blow. You know how these actors and entertainers don't really die. They lie, say they die. Some of them. And how they are cloned. If you follow this guy on YouTube by the name of I don't want that to play. By the name of Conscious X, he will show you how a lot of these actors and entertainers are just real. I want you to look at Curtis Blow and then look at Kanye West. Like you can't unsee it once you see it. I'll show it to you. Lou Rawls, you gonna miss my loving. And what's the guy with the very deep, Barry White, very deep voice? Ooh, Lord child. So if you look up Curtis Blow's connection to Kanye West, they will actually say there's a connection. And they started doing this, coming out with articles to say they're connected or they had similar after Conscious X came out with a video to show that they very well could be the same character. He did the gematria of them. He did face compilations of them. It was just very, very jarring how much they look alike. Conscious X on YouTube talks about how many of these people just recreated. DJ Dr. Kia on the ones and the twos. Right? McFadden and Whitehead. Yes. Mystical Energy says, I still have thousands of albums from my 80s and 90s DJ days. That's awesome. Who remembers Kool Moe Dee? Houdini. That's who asked that. Oh, y'all with some DJ's up in here. What happened to the thumbnail? Did I change it? You missed the beginning. Oh, we talked about it all, but no, I didn't change it. The moment soul generation, the moment and soul generation. Melissa Morgan, do me, baby. I thought do me, baby was Prince. Do me, baby, like you never done before. Oh, give it to me till you just can't take no more. Till I just can't take no more. Marvin Gaye, James Ingram, Lean on Me, George Michael. George Michael was very, very popular. Was that about the 80s or 90s? They removed the thumbnail? Heat Wave, Curtis Blow was sick a few years ago. Keep him in prayer by you, says. Some of you know some of these people personally. Some of you have jammed with them, DJed for them, played with them. See, Miami Wave, Miami Marvin says, I ate bologna sandwiches with Lou Rawls in 1973. See, remember fried bologna sandwiches? But put a little mayonnaise on that bread? Child, that was it in the days. My grandmother didn't allow us to eat meat. No, we ate meat. She didn't allow us to eat, what you call that meat? Like cold cuts. But my aunts and uncles would sneak it, and they would sneak it to us. Fried up bologna, let the edges get real, real hard on some bread. Maybe put some fried eggs or scrambled eggs in it on that sandwich. Lord have mercy. Mm-mm-mm. That's pretty awesome that you ate bologna sandwiches with Lou Rawls. Wow. Curtis Mayfield, Jerry Butler. Yep. A band called Death was a brothers. They invented punk music. Wow. Okay. She said, look up their, Holden says, look up their, he said, look up their documentary. Wow. Soul Generation, Skip Mahoney. Michelle had a child too. Michelle, a lot of them have secret children. Hall and Oates. You want my body now. You want my soul. You can't get it now. I'm saying no, no, no. I'll do anything that you want me to, but I can't go for that. No, I no can do. I can't go for that. Y'all remember that? Can't go for that. Can't go for that. That's Hall and Oates. My cousin Jimmy, he was in the basement playing that song. I don't know. Was cousin Jimmy getting high? I don't know. But they would like to do stuff that today mama, that our grandparents and great aunts and uncles didn't allow them to do. But that music would be blaring from the basement with incense, thinking that nobody could smell what they were doing over those incense. But I remember Hall and Oates because I was in the 8th grade, might have been like 12 or 13 back then, coming home from school, listening to the music blaring. I would run in the house looking for something to eat so I can change my school clothes and do my homework. Yep. Never Can Say Goodbye. So Isaac Hayes sang a song called Never Can Say Goodbye. Betty White. Barry White, though, he was the maestro. What do we say? You telling me this and you're telling me that. Telling me something. Once you said you will never turn back. There is a lesson that I'm gonna teach. That was the girls' version, and he would say, "What do you say? Practice what you preach," in that deep, deep, sultry voice. Ooh, child. Yep. You never heard that was his clone? Yeah, Kanye West and Curtis Blow, allegedly. Elton John was very, very popular on that piano and singing. You've been saying that he's Kanye's dad, Curtis Blow is Kanye's dad for years? Yasif Niji L? Wow. Is Curtis Blow still among us? Somebody asked. Billy Ocean came out later, the Ohio players for whom my uncle Ronnie Diamond Horde played. Oh yeah, I know. How you don't know? We know Rick James. my aunts and uncles used to sing about that, sing Rick James music in the basement. That was their playground, the basement. Something about that basement. I don't know. Maybe they was trying to hide from grandma. Grandma had everybody cleaning, cooking, going to the garden, shucking corn, picking greens, plucking um, green beans, washing clothes and hanging them on the line, and going to church for BTU, Baptist Training Union, Sunday school, and church, and learning the Bible at her feet. You grew up with most of them. So my aunts and uncles, they were grown when we were growing up in the house as the grandchildren. And if they were seen around the house, they had to do the same work as we. But sometimes they would sneak to the basement and hide from Granny. Yep, they say Morgan Freeman is Jimi Hendrix. That's true. Atlantic Star, yes. Sly and the Family Stone. In Vogue, I remember In Vogue, weren't they the 90s? No, you're never gonna get it. Not this time. Never gonna get it. My loving. No, you're never gonna get it. I remember them. It's funny because even though my mom didn't allow me to listen to music, it was all around me. My aunts and uncles would be playing it. My cousin be playing in the basement. My great cousins. But you weren't allowed to speak. So when an adult, sometimes they would be playing music, you be in the back, playing with your dolls or playing with kids if you were allowed to have a doll, or just playing with your cousins. Then they be blasting that music, thinking you can't hear. But it wouldn't matter because you were to be seen and not heard, and sometimes not even be seen. The cleanup woman, woo child. I remember the women talking about that. She don't mean that. She just the cleanup woman, honey. But Rufus pay my bills, honey. Mac pay my bills. She thinks, or some of them be bragging. She thinks she the cleanup woman. I remember all them stories from my aunts and uncles. Not my grandma. She didn't do gossip. She was a church-going woman. There is an amazing energy. You woke up with Tupac energy. Really? 5,000 feathers? Today, you went outside playing it loud on your Bluetooth in Relations, You Against the World album. Nothing like the old school in real time. Wow. A shutdown means that they still taking taxes. A shutdown means that the both sides of the government, they haven't agreed to the budget. So a lot of the workers don't come in. The government workers don't come in. They work that they either they don't come in or they work without getting paid because they don't have enough. Government doesn't have enough money to pay the government workers. The government doesn't have enough money to pay all these workers. They don't have enough money to pay all the workers, the military. So they say. When I mean the government, the United States Corporated, the benefits, the entitlement benefits, the welfare, the AD, what do they call it? Temporary help for families and children, the money that they give, welfare, food stamps, WIC, women, infants, and children that they give pregnant women and women with little babies, Section 8, they don't have enough money. They're in debt. Now, behind the scenes, we heard that the debts have been paid off. But from what we told, they're trillions and trillions of dollars in debt. So they either send the workers home, fire them, have them to take an early retirement. Somebody asks, what's the government shutdown? Or they just say you work with no pay. You're on furlough. And the thing is, they might not ever, Quincy Jones, yes, Secret Garden, they might not ever reopen. Larry Graham. Weren't they hiding in the basement? Did you have aunts and uncles that were hiding in the basement too? Because the hiding in the basement, like they back then in the day in the 60s and 70s, we didn't have finished basements. It was still like old and kind of dark down there. But there were rooms and different spaces in there. And some of them would sleep in the basement. There was a washer and dryer in one part of the basement. There was a bathroom down there. There was literally like a bedroom or two in the basement. So they would all be hiding out in Uncle Joe's bedroom, blasting that music and smoking funny stuff. And I knew it smoking funny stuff because I could smell the incense, as I said earlier, that they tried to masquerade the funny stuff with. Sly Stone is from Vallejo, from Valley Joe. There's a who's that? There's a rapper from that area, Valley Joe. From he start with an E. What's his name? Big guy. Oh, there's a couple of rappers. The one that start with an E as the big guy come from that area, and then there's the short guy, Too Short. Because I also spent some time in California. There's a Russian singer called Dimash. Aerosmith. You know I know Aerosmith. Sarah, smile. I want you to smile a while for me. Sarah. I sing that song to my daughter Sarah sometimes. Thank you, Chloe Harris, for that memory. But so Mama's my mama's song was Woman to Woman. Yeah, honey, them women. True child. Remember the one they were saying, hello, so and so, Barbara, this is Susan. And they be talking to each other on them songs. That I remember some of them older women singing the songs, getting sad because, you know, the mistress might have called the wife. It rarely happened, but sometime on occasion. Ain't nobody called my grandmama's house because they would have got rebuked, prayed on, the devil casted out them, all kind of stuff. And I never heard stories about my granddaddy tipping out, but I heard stories in the neighborhood. I sure enough did. Rolls Royce by Terry Huff. Wow, y'all taking me back. Sorry we couldn't hear Chief Mack. He's going to be on later on tonight. But the government may not ever reopen because the government is unconstitutional and unlawful. The government has been operating treasonously. They do not create laws. They create statutes, codes, and policies and force us to do that in order to control us. That's what government means. Government means to control, to rule over. The mind mentality meant. So they have to be dismantled. They have to go. We were never supposed to have all these 444 agencies to control us, to teach our children, to rule over us, to force us to have licenses. None of that. So they all have to go away. The emotions. And just think, I said, I thought to myself, I don't really have much to talk about today. I'm just going to briefly talk about a government shutdown, how we're having a partial government shutdown. I might mention that the states are now removing income taxes. And we're going to talk about how many judges and attorneys have left the Department of the DOJ of Justice. But hey, we've been on here for 2 hours and 36 minutes. We've had a session where we reminisced about our childhood. We had Chief Mack to come on and talk to us and encourage us. All this. Oh, speaking of, I see you, Empress says, off music for a moment. I hope we revamp immigration laws so we never get here again, respectfully. Speaking of which, actually, they are revamping immigration laws, especially here in Florida. I'm going to show you this. I'm going to pull up this video so that if you want to look at it, you can. How they're revamping laws. Let's see, where is that? And I'll tell you how they're revamping immigrant laws in a minute. They are saying, I'm going to show you this video. I'm not going to show you the video, but I'm going to show you the heading of the video. Let me see where the laws are. What did I say about the laws? So now they're saying if you are an immigrant and you have a fake identification, if your ID is outdated or expired, if your work visa is expired, if your green card has expired, if you're unlawful in any way, they're tightening up all these things and they're deporting people. They're also saying that the law mandates that landlords now have to check the status of immigrants before they allow them to not only work for them, but also landlords have to check the status before they allow them in their homes or in their apartments. They're saying if the landlords do not check the status of immigrants and it is found that the immigrants are operating without their papers or unlawfully, any of their ID or anything has expired, then those landlords can face third-degree felonies. So they are revamping the laws. They're tightening immigration laws. Trump is challenging naturalization as well. He's attacking naturalization because that's not something that we had according to our republic. Naturalization is something that the deep state created. This is a video that says that the 8,000 Department of Justice lawyers have walked out, or attorneys have walked out. That's not the one I'm looking for. But naturalization is something that they created in order to allow people to come over here and get certain paperwork so that now they can call themselves Americans or be naturalized as Americans. But you can't naturalize your way into being American. The original definition of American says the copper-colored races discovered by Europeans, but now applied to Europeans. It's applied to Europeans, but you're not American. So the naturalization process is now under scrutiny. What else? Birthright citizenship, because you're not an American just because you were born here. They're really tightening up, family. What else are they saying? If somehow people are allowed to stay, they have to abide by the law. They have to assimilate. They have to abide by the law. But they're going to have to give over a lot of their, if not all of their businesses. They're going to have to turn over, and many people are going to have to turn over the land back to indigenous peoples, because whether they bought the land knowingly or unknowingly, they had and maybe they didn't know, I should say, most people don't know that when they buy land, that it belonged to somebody. It belonged to indigenous tribes. It belonged to people who were there before them. It belonged to the autogenous Aboriginal or Niji that are misnomered as Blacks, African-American, colored folk. A lot of people bought houses, lands, mines, all that. They're going to have to return it because the bank didn't have the right to give it to them. The government didn't have the right to give it to them. They thought they were doing, what's right, especially people coming over here from other countries. That a lot of them, some of them didn't think it. They thought they just, availing themselves of opportunities. But land is being returned back to the autogenous people, but they will be compensated. Let me see if I can find where they're revamping the laws. The video says new deportation laws in Florida 2026, but it basically talks about the new laws that says immigrants' ID is going to be under scrutiny. A lot of people most people that come here, I heard this from an immigration attorney. He said, people won't tell you this, but most people who came here they're unlawful. He said, because it's very, very hard to actually come here lawfully. And he said it always has been very, very hard to come here lawfully. But he said, now some people came here by protected status, where they protected status, like Somalians, they came over here under protective status. And refugees, political refugees, they were here under protective status. He said a lot of them, this was an immigrant attorney. He's online actually talking about this. And he said, maybe even if you came here lawfully, he said a lot of times they came here on a temporary protected status visa or a temporary work visa or some type of temporary status where they were not supposed to be able to stay forever. And then you had some that came unlawfully. As a matter of fact, Biden admitted to allowing or flying over 300,000 illegal immigrants just flying into the country. We're not even talking about the ones that he just allowed in, but he's not the only one. You have people crossing the borders, walking, swimming, crossing, coming through boat, through plane, all type of ways. And then once they got here, some of them did not do the paperwork. Some of them did do the paperwork, but even when your paperwork is done, if you have, maybe a temporary time you're supposed to be here, when the time ran out, whether you came here lawfully or unlawfully, a lot of them did what's called seeking asylum. Well, what does seeking asylum mean? Basically, it was just saying, I need to stay here. And they could say whatever reason. They could say, I need to stay here because it's unsafe in my country. I need to stay here because of whatever. And it was just a matter of simply filling out paperwork or having an attorney that was really involved in allowing a lot of people stay here illegally, just filling out there. And they said that paperwork was so easy. I'm just reporting what these attorneys have admitted to. Maybe it was just a few boxes they had to check, write their name, blah, blah, blah. And it was just easy to get, according to testimony, to get asylum. So they would seek asylum, and then they would get their asylum papers. And then they would say, well, I'm legal. But they don't tell how they came over here initially, a lot of them illegally or unlawfully, how they swam across, took the boat, whatever, took a ship, whatever, or they were supposed to only be here temporarily and then stayed. Well, President Trump is saying a lot of people are here unlawfully. They sought asylum and maybe they should not have. But if they continue to abide by the laws and they continue to do right and they haven't had any criminal charges, they can stay. But a lot of them that have broken the law, a lot of them have had shell corporations and shell companies where there was a lot of laundering and trafficking going on, where some of them were bringing women over here and children too, telling them that they were going to bring them for a better life. This was happening not just in America, but in Europe and other places. And then when they got here, they were trafficked. They know exactly who these people are. You can't get with all the surveillance we have. They know who each and every one of us are. All that is under scrutiny now. Green cards, marrying for green cards, that's under scrutiny. Reapplying for green cards that are expired, any expired licenses, work permits, any being undocumented. Before, you can get college degrees undocumented, you can get mortgage loans, you can do businesses, be completely undocumented, get all these benefits, monthly stipends, all of this being not on paper. Well, now Trump is creating new laws to challenge that. So to your point, Empress Love 999, I hope we revamp immigration laws so we never get here again. Respectfully, it's happening in real time. And people are upset. They're panicking. They're saying Trump is a racist. What about the children? So here's the thing. People are making it seem like this is Trump's problem, like he's at fault. But why did the parents put the children in that predicament? Some people just didn't get the paperwork done. Because some people really, why get it done if you don't have to? You can be unlawful, illegal, undocumented, still get business loans, houses. I know what I'm talking about because I know immigrants who've done that. We lived among the immigrant community in Louisville, Kentucky. The stuff that's been allowed to happen we can never get here again. This country, there are so many communities that look like a third world country. And then you have people that have been here so long getting away with getting money and millions of dollars, we're talking, so long in their communities. That's why they act arrogant. That's why they act like they think they're better than you, because they literally think they're better than you. They were told to stay away from people classified as Black. They were told to stay out of our neighborhoods. They were allowed to create businesses and put them in our neighborhoods and eat off our fat and eat off our energy. And some of them put drugs and guns into the community with the help of the police. But they were told they're better than us and they shouldn't hang around us and they shouldn't marry us and make love to us or be around us. They literally some of them think that they're better than us. You saw the way they looked at you when you walked in their stores and when you went into their restaurants or you walked down the street. You saw how they looked at you like they were better than you, like you were going to steal. Now they can ask for your money. You saw this for decades because literally they were on our lands getting our benefits and our resources and our wealth and getting businesses while you were turned away for a business. You were turned away for a loan. Why would you have to get a bank to loan you money to live on your own land? Why you have to pay for electricity and gas and get a license to drive on or travel on your land and pay somebody insurance? Why on your own land? But people can come here from all over the world. Some of them have to obey, yes, but they still get benefits. And they get to treat you like you a slave or an igane and talk about you and disrespect you. This is why they panicking. That's why they taking in social media like, help us, Black folk. No, this ain't our fight. We didn't invite you here. You better take it up with Mr. Government, Uncle Sam, them. We don't have nothing to do with this. I don't remember any of the tribal leaders saying, come on, everybody from all over the world. Don't speak your own language, and they will arrogantly wave their flag, refuse to learn English, learn their language, and force you to learn their language and put up their translator to you so you can hear what they got to say, but won't learn your language. This isn't all of them. This is some of them. No, Trump it's over for that. Thank you, Brother Reginald Holden, for the Cash App blessing. I appreciate you. I'm sorry I missed you. And thank you, Sister Sharice, so much for your gift. And Brother Terrence, I appreciate you. So they're cracking down on it. Do I believe that I should be unaliving people? Not unless they did something that warranted. But since I don't know what these people, some people are participating in, are there PDFs? They were participating in trafficking, and then some of the stuff you see, if it's going viral, and they're saying ICE is doing all certain this nefarious stuff, some of that is staged, and they're paid actors. So I don't. It's not my fight. I'm not getting in the middle of that. If truth be told, I would be happy when people make their country great again. They will tell you, I'm a hard worker. Some of them, I've had people tell me to my face, we work harder than you Americans. I'm like, well, since you want to boast that you're such a hard, good worker, why don't you go back to your country and work hard? Well, we have gangs. Well, we have gangs too in America. Well, we have drugs. Well, we have drugs too. Some of it came from your country, but you're a hard worker. And then some of it was brain drain, where American companies right here will go and drain the intellect from these countries, bring the engineers and the nurses and the doctors and all that. America right now relies heavily on immigrant doctors. Like, we can't train our own doctors and nurses and herbalists and chiropractors and naturopathic physicians to do the work. We rely heavily on immigrant doctors. They're complaining, oh, what about the fruit trees? We're in Florida. Who's going to take care of the fruit trees? Who's going to do the farming? Like, people can't go out there and learn to farm themselves. Like, we don't have families that have been doing this for generations. Who's going to do the jobs? Like, our teenagers and young people that don't want to go to college can't take these jobs. Go home and we'll figure it out. And they get so offended when you say that some people should just go back home. Like, what's wrong with going back to your home? I don't understand it. But this is why Nasara, the component of Nasara, says in order to receive the wealth that's coming to each nation, the people have to be in their own nation to receive the benefits. And then they can go build up their countries and help make their communities great again. Yeah, people are very, very angry. Social media is weird. People acting like, why won't the Black folk help us? What? First of all, we're not Black. Secondly, we got our own thing to deal with. If everybody and their mama wasn't here, we'd be able to breathe. If the drugs and guns wasn't being flooded in from the United States Incorporated that's shut down right now, and they buddies from across the waters, we wouldn't be going through a lot of the problems we go through. Yeah, you don't get to just come here and automatically be considered an American. No. An American. No. Just like I can't go to China and think automatically I'm a Chinese and fill out paperwork and naturalize nothing. No. You're an American living in China. And I'm not going to go there and work their jobs either. You come there with $1 million or a whole bunch of money. You create businesses for the people. But people go on your lands and create businesses for themselves and take that money from your country and go make their country great again, and talk about how you're lazy, you don't want to do nothing, how they outwork you and they're taking the jobs that you don't want, and they're doing this and that, and they're not trying to assimilate, not trying to learn your language, not trying to learn the American culture. They do all this boast and brag about how they're better, act like they're better, stay away from you unless they're siphoning your energy and your money, send the money back home, and then go back and retire home as a millionaire, bring their spouses and all their family members, but the government allowed it. It's all coming down. When it all goes down. Sing it, Kanye. When it all goes down. When it all goes down, it's all going to come crashing down. So in the short term, it's going to be a challenge for some people, but at least people will be able to go back home and see their family members that they left, for whatever reason, maybe to have a better life. It to me, it's like people say, but it's no harm, no foul. Okay, but imagine you have a home, You're doing your own thing in your home. You got your family customs and ways, dinner time, breakfast time, lunchtime, the things, your music, the language you sing. And then somebody else invite somebody to come into your home. You get a knock at the door or a kick in the door, and then here comes somebody. They invite themselves to your home. They can be a nice person, but they invited themselves to your home, or somebody else invited them, and you're looking at them like, what are you doing here? And they speak in their own language in your house. And they come and they sit at your table and bring their food in your house at your table. And then they start telling you and the people in your family what time they should go to bed, or they go to bed whatever time they want to in your house, sitting at your table that they came to uninvited. You didn't invite them. They bring their food, they bring their customs, their singing, their ways. And then they don't just come, then they invite their spouse to come or their lover. And then that's not enough. You're like, hey, I didn't invite you. Somebody else invited you. You just barged in my door. You just came in unannounced. Now you bring in your spouse. Now you bring in your children. Now you're bringing your aunt, your uncle, your grandma, your grandpa. And before I know it, this don't even look like my house anymore. Now, we waking up at a different time. We doing things at a different time. Now you even sleeping with my companion. You tell them, teaching my children your ways, your culture, your music. Hey, that's for you. It might be good for you, but it ain't my culture. It ain't my music. It ain't my language. It isn't my language, my darling. But you're in my house. Now you're starting to tell me what time I need to be doing things, what time I need. And then you start acting like you're better than me in my house. And telling me you're a harder worker, you do better, you know more, your culture is better. I've even heard people from the Caribbean, the ones that's now inviting all the chiefs to their channels. Oh yeah, come. I remember y'all when y'all first came here. And y'all first got on the platform saying we're better than American blacks. I'm like, how you better when you're a part of America as a Caribbean person? Now that they lonely and horny and they want a man, oh, chief, oh, he, kiki. I remember what you said. I remember how you said you better than the women here. I remember. So some of these people invited themselves to our houses or on our lands and our shores, or they were invited and they brought all this here, but we didn't invite them. I don't care how nice you are, how kind, even it doesn't even matter to me. I feel for you that your own house might have been falling down, dilapidated. If you had called me, asked me for help, I might have sent you a couple dollars, but you done barged your way in somebody else's house. And now you're stealing somebody else's name. You're calling yourself by their tribe. You're saying you're American. You're not. You're not Choctaw. Some of you, you're not Shawnee, Iroquois, American. So you can naturalize all day long. What does that mean? You can have a baby on the soil. That still don't make you American. This is why the founding father said certain people couldn't serve as a president. In order to serve as a president, according to the Constitution, you can fact check me. Look up John Eastman, constitutional expert out of California. He said Kamala Harris and most of the presidents serving are unlawful. Why? Because it's not just about proximity. Because people say, I was born on American soil. We don't care. You still aren't able to serve. You're still not American. John Eastman says, according to the Constitution and the founding fathers, it's not just about proximity, it's about allegiance. You have to be natural born and subject to the jurisdiction of the state in which you were born. This is constitutional law. This ain't just Dr. Kia Pruitt talking. I'm talking what I know. I'm well studied, well researched. You don't believe me? Believe the white man, John Eastman. Constitutional attorney out of California, said you have to be natural born. Now, he didn't want to go on to tell you the difference between natural born and native born. Native born means you might have been born on the soil, but you're not natural. You didn't spring from the soil. Your ancestors did not come from the American soil. So you have to be natural born and subject to the jurisdiction of the state in which you were born. Natural born, meaning your ancestors of many generations sprung from the soil of the lands of your inheritance. American, autochthonous. The same genetic code that's in the soil is the same genetic code that's in our colon. Natural born, sprung from the soil. That's why Kamala Harris could not lawfully serve. That's why Trump said, I heard she can't serve. This is why I'm telling y'all he's the president of the corporation and not the republic like people are trying to say. He's the 45th through the 47th president, the last president of the United States Corporation. But he was trying to tell us the same thing that they said in motu proprio, that the Pope said, we are presidents of the corporation. None of us can lawfully serve. But Kamala Harris, I don't care if she had brown skin. For all this time, she's been saying, I'm the first Indian congresswoman, all East Indian. Now, all of a sudden, you black. What does black mean? Maybe you are black. You don't have any standing in law. That's what the Black's Law Dictionary classifies black as. You dead, no standing in law, but you didn't spring from the soil here. Now, your father claims that he was Jamaican. Well, was he really did he spring from the Jamaican soil, or did he have a Jamaican citizenship? Because a lot of East Indians, Chinese, Asians go to Jamaica and get a citizenship and then try to claim nationalization. But you said yourself, Kamala Harris, you was East Indian because you are what your mama is. Daddy's maybe, mama's baby. Mama's baby, daddy's maybe. That's why they identify you typically, especially in law, through the mama, because we can trace you through your mom. We can do genetic testing now, but back in the day, daddy's maybe. So again, just because you were born in America does not make you American. Just because you signed some papers does not make you American. Doesn't matter what the United States Incorporated said. They're not our lawful government. The Republic is. And before the Republic, we had tribal laws to which we're going back. So people are going to have to be uncomfortable. Things are going to get shaken up. A lot of people are going to get shipped back home. I'm like, why are people upset they're going back home to the land of their ancestors? You know why? Because they got to live off the benefits of the black people here that they looked down upon and called ignorants and taught us trifling and lazy and said they will outwork us any day. That's why they're upset, because of all that karma is now finally coming back to them. It's just karmic justice. They don't like it. They've been able to be professionals and politicians and work in high offices through their secret societies. And through working with the government for the government. They got these refugee benefits. They got these benefits from all over, got these low interest loans, no interest loans, $10,000 each, just coming across our shores, accessing our trusts, thinking they were better than the black people here because they were told we were white slaves that came from some slave ship in Africa. But they're panicking, people panicking now because we're saying, no, we're not. We were always here. Ivan Van Sertima wrote a book called They Came Before Columbus. He should have said they were here before Columbus, but he said they came before Columbus. George G.M. James goes further into the book. Even the accounts of Christopher Columbus and all the people that came from Europe and brought the European slaves and European prisoners said that the copper-colored races are the indigenous autogenous people. That's why the Colombian president said November 2025, when he stood in front of the United Nations and said it at the United Nations in front of the whole world, the black people are the only original indigenous people of the Americas. That's why Vladimir Putin said Jesus was black, the characters were black or brown, and the people there need to learn who they are. Russia remembers Tartaria. We have genetic memory of Tartaria. They tried to erase it. They tried to erase how great our lands was and our empires were here. We didn't forget. We were propagandized and told we came from some slave ship in Africa. And so when you get that mindset that you're a slave and everybody and their mammy taught that you were a slave, you were nobody, and you helped build America while you were in chains, and everybody raped your grandma and your great grandma, and all your little slave picking any children are just, beggars and all this stuff. When you've been taught that all your life and you came to this country and you benefited from our trust, you benefited from all the governments that we built up and all the museums that we built up and all these courthouses that were our beautiful home, and you get to play golf on your little golf in your little hole in ones, what you call them, your little golf courses and your country clubs. When you realize that you kept us out and you had your little secret society memberships to our golf courses, and you didn't let any black folk in and you didn't want to live among them, but then you wake up one day and you realize that that's holy ground. The country clubs where they play golf, that's our holy ground, our sacred grounds of our tribal leaders where they would meet and do powwows and make very important decisions. And you've been partying and dancing and running and chasing children and raping children on our sacred grounds of the lands of our ancestors. Yeah, you're going to get scared. Yeah, you're going to be angry. Yeah, you're going to start to wonder, what can I do to stay? What must I do to be saved? But you had your fun. You had a wonderful time disrespecting the Americans and disrespecting the new so-called Americans that came here, the Europeans. Everybody just had fun on our heads. Everybody played in our faces. Just last year, everybody had black fatigue. Now the same people that had black fatigue, oh, I'm sick of black folk. I'm sick of them crying, hollering. I'm sick of them too. Those are the same ones. Help us. Don't let us get deported. It's not our fight. We never invited people here. Your government, the ones y'all was shaking hands with, giving you benefits, they invited you into somebody else's home. And now we're just taking our stuff back. Welcome to America. But hope you had a good time. If you decide to stay and you're allowed to stay, make sure you treat the people on the land right. Make sure you abide by love, truth, freedom, peace, and justice. Make sure you learn the language. Make sure you assimilate. You'll be all right. But a lot of stuff that's been given to all these other people's got to be returned. And having said that, my name is Dr. Kia Pruitt. I've had a wonderful time supping with you all, talking about all these amazing things that's happening. As President Trump said, we've entered the golden age. The golden age is here. I trust that I've said something to raise your vibrations and inspire you to create the most amazing, magnificent life that you desire and deserve. Big Mama is home. She was resting a while, hoping folk would get it together. But now she got to open up her mouth, do a little talking, a little chastising, a little teaching and preaching, and more importantly, getting it together. Doesn't matter what race, creed, culture, religious affiliation, or political affiliation you're associated with, we're all going to be wealthy. Divine love to you all too. You're all through Nassar and Jassar going to be able to gain access to your trust. Trillions of dollars are going to be injected into the global economy, and you're going to be free from paying taxes, income taxes, federal taxes, all that. You're going to learn how to live in love, truth, freedom, peace, and justice and harmony. And this is why President Trump created the Board of Peace, so that all of the governments and people all over the global leaders can lead that charge in creating a platform of peace. They're creating the outline or teaching us what this should look like. Countries getting along with each other. Remember, I said they think Russia forgot about Tartaria. He did not. He did not forget about the great empire we had here before our country and our lands were colonized. It's over now, though. But as long as we all learn to love, live, love, and thrive, and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and we treat each other well, we respect one another. If you go to somebody's country, you respect their culture and their people, you respect their language. Don't expect handouts. You give back to the people, then we're going to be all right. Doesn't matter where you are, where you came from. Okay? So that's it, family. I love you all so much. Somebody says I always do raise the vibrations of the planet. That's good. I enjoy being with you. This is Friday the 13th. Go out and make it great. Have some fun. Make sure not only you have fun, but you look at whatever currencies you have and write them down, categorize them so that you can be ready when it's time to go to the bank. And in addition to that, create your humanitarian projects, go over your humanitarian projects and perfect them. Perfect them so that you can help the entire globe to heal. You can help the men to come out of prison and be healed. You can help the children that have been hidden under these underground tunnels. A lot of them have been retrieved. Thank you all too, Soul Family, for all of us, those of you who did the mass meditation with us on the Super Bowl Sunday. While they were doing their rituals, we did ours. And we commanded through the power that we have our children to be returned safely and be treated right and for them to fully recover. And we commanded for our wealth to be returned, our prosperity, our sovereignty, and our peace. So that's it, family. This Friday the 13th, let he or she who understand the number 13 receive peace, power, and prosperity. I love you so much, and I'll see you on the other side. Peace.
Shining wisdom's light, teaching soul tribe how to see through the night. Ancient scriptures and bloodlines she knows, spreading truth wherever she goes. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day. Through her channel, knowledge flows, breaking chains that hold us close, teaching paths to abundance and wealth, guiding others to free themselves. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day. From currencies to investments divine, she's helping her tribe to realign with wisdom, ancient and new, showing what we all can do. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia lights the way to a new and brighter day.
Bye-bye, Soul Tribe. Go out and make this a great, great day. Mama Kia loves you. Mwah. Bye-bye. Peace, love, and soul. Happy 13th.